Welcome back to Macrodosing. It is Thursday, February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. Happy Groundhog's Day.
It's actually the start of Black History Month. So,
well, no, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
This show is brought to you by the Macrodosing store on the Barstool store. Check it out. We got sweet tie-dye tees. We've got Mids University collegiate-style sweatshirts. We got the elusive Macrodosing frog hoodie designed by Billy, and then there was one that was designed by not Billy. You can pick your poison on that one. And we've got the Macrodosing Yeti tee, all for sale right now. Go to store.barstoolsports.com. That's store.barstoolsports.com. We're going to get into the show. I'm actually going to be stepping out because they taped the beginning of the show while I was out. I was in an undisclosed location doing a top secret interview for Pardon My Take, but I'm back and I will be joining on for the second half of the show. But for now, let's kick it to these jokers in the studio and see all the trash they were talking about me when I was gone.
Well, they can blow me.
All right.
Hey, that's how you're going to start the show right there.
Yeah.
Who you want to blow you, Big T?
Nah, it's okay.
Bubble blowing.
Welcome back to Mac. Shut up, man. You fucking my intro. God
I'm
damn,
sorry.
buddy.
I didn't know we were starting.
Welcome back to Macrodosing, minus PFT, the only podcast on the internet.
He is coming, though.
He's on his way.
He's done blowing you. You stop.
No.
He's under the table right now.
No, that's no
He's
violation.
under the table.
He's coming.
No.
Are you coming?
Stop.
Once
Do
Big
not
T
come.
Stop. See, Billy thinks you've given him license to do jokes now, and it's just
License to bill.
Come on,
Yeah.
Big T, lighten up.
You need permission to joke, Billy. You hear that? That's what it sounds like.
I know, but he's the one who brought up blowjobs, and now
Wrong.
he's getting mad. You
wrong.
did. You did. What did you say?
I brought up a group of people.
Who were to blow you? Okay. Anyway,
Who were to blow you? Welcome back, everybody. How's everybody feeling, man? I'm feeling great. Finally back home in Houston. Everybody here today. PFT gonna join us a little later. He's doing something that's far more stupid and less important. So yeah, he'll join us a little later. Today we're gonna get into current events. We're gonna get into viral tweets. But how's everybody feeling, man? Go around the room, man. Mad Dog, let's start with you. We never start with you, Mad Dog.
Who, me?
You're the only Mad Dog in there.
I'm good. The tweet going viral has made my day a little bit more funny. That's crazy. When Alvin Kamara tweeted, it was like on the train this morning. I freaked out. I was like, holy shit, this is insane.
Yeah.
Because I also don't know a lot of the quote tweets. Like, I don't know who these people are. Like, I didn't know who Marlon Humphrey was. So I learned who he was this morning and how his script was. Is his script good or bad?
In bigger news, we got Brian Conroy 1,000 followers.
Yeah. Also, my dad wants to thank you guys because he got 1,000 followers on Twitter yesterday.
Ah, that's fire.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chef.
Yeah. So, but I'm good. Nothing to report here. I'm just excited to be with you guys another day.
February 1st. Actually, happy Groundhog's Day.
No, it's tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow would be Groundhog's Day when this comes out.
It's the start of Black History Month.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were
Fuck
gonna say.
Groundhog's
I'm
Day,
sorry.
Billy.
Guys,
Sorry.
what the fuck?
I'm sorry.
Fucking Billy's racist.
I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Confirmed. Everybody else, what you got going on, Big T? You good, man?
Yeah, I mean, you're the one who should be talking. You're the viral sensation.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm mad we ain't talking about this and PFT is here because that little fucker started this whole thing, man. He was the one that he be wanting to clip this shit. And I don't know, man. I always go viral for the dumbest shit. For all the shit that I say that's insightful or, you know what I'm saying? That's the dumbest shit to go viral for, man. So,
I don't know if you've seen it. Do you know how many views that tweet has?
I muted it after like 3,000 likes because I knew it was about to pop off.
If you had to guess, this is just how many people have seen the tweet impressions. What would you guess?
My mom has hit me. All the homies I went to college with hit me. Past teammates have hit me. So if I were to guess, just by that social gauge, it's made its way around sports Twitter for sure. I would say around 3 million views.
Oh boy.
Not even remotely close.
No way.
74 million.
No way.
Bro, what?
It went that
It was
viral?
at like
Oh,
64
God.
when I walked in here. We've been sitting in here probably 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Now it says the video has 5.7 million views, but you have to watch the video for a while for it to count as a video view. The tweet has 74 million views.
PFT's tweet?
Yes.
Oh my
Jesus.
god.
So that means it caught every part of the internet. It caught sports internet. It caught conspiracy internet. It caught anti-conspiracy internet. It caught everything. That shit's crazy, man.
You were trending last night.
It was all over.
I saw that. That's wild. It's just so crazy because like I didn't want to be a part of that shit. Honestly, I hate going viral for stupid shit. But fuck it, it's funny.
It's good for the show.
It is funny. It's great for the show. But the funnier part of this shit is the people thinking I'm serious. And they're like, because I can't even open my Twitter now. It's full of this shit. And so it's like, clout chasing. You want attention, huh? And I'm like, actually, it's PFT that wants the attention. So I didn't even ask for it. It was his bit. He started it. We play off each other well. I'm a good actor. And fuck, now I'm in the Larry Johnson category. God damn it.
I would say 95% of people knew it was a joke, but 5% of 74 million is still a lot. And there were a lot of people who thought it was serious.
That's true. Yeah, there's mad people like, yo, protect him. He's gonna get shot. Yeah, he's gonna get shot. So I fucked with him a little bit this morning. I was like, I have no plans on committing suicide, and I'm healthy as an ox. I don't even know if oxes are healthy like that. But yeah, man, it's pretty funny. My mom's hitting me. She's tweeting about it.
That's the thing. It was
man.
like
my old PR dude that used to work for the Houston Texans hit me. He was like, "You're fucking hilarious, dog."
Well, that's the thing. It was like you were so convincing in your argument. You were like, you didn't laugh or anything. You were straight faced, like, "Yep, got the script. Like, this is what happened." So I could see how like
character.
Yeah, I could see how like the people who like think like the election was stolen and whatnot would probably think that the NFL is also rigged.
I think that the bad part about it is now. Because if you have ever watched the show before this, like you know exactly where I stand on that shit, right? But like if you've never really listened to me talk before, if you ever hear me say I was fucking playing, dog, like you're already convinced, and so like you're gonna be like, no man, it got to you, or it paid you off. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be shit like that. So it's like there's never like that's how shit gets. Matter of fact, we wanted to start a conspiracy at the live show, right?
Yeah.
The very next show, we got this shit popping like in a very major way.
Big
So
time.
shit, we did it. You know what? Hats off to everybody involved. Congrats, we did it. That was our goal, and we did it. So
my favorite part of the whole thing, there's a Fox News article about it, and
that shit blew me.
And it describes what happened. It says Foster was then asked about the script he got when his career, quote, fell off a cliff when he stopped believing in God.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious. Yeah, I'm glad you got a little shine in there too, Big. That was a funny joke.
It was a great clip. It's a good clip.
It was a good clip. It was a good clip.
Like in the time we've been talking here, it's at 74.7 million. So another 700,000 people have seen it in the 3 minutes we've been talking.
Yeah, it's going to. I'm glad I muted it. There's no way I could be able to participate in Twitter. 74 million people, dog. That's insane, dog. That's insane.
That's crazy.
God, it just sucks because we have to address that shit. Like one of the homies hit me. He was like, "Hey man, you want to come on my radio show and address?" I don't actually. I don't want to come on. Like I don't. It's not a real thing. Like, why are we talking about
was
this?
Was it Ramon Foster?
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
No.
I was just guessing former teammates that had radio shows. I don't know any others.
There's a lot of them. Everybody got a mic in front of them.
It's a good gig.
It's not bad, man. It pays well.
I liked when we had Ramon on here. We should get him on for like an actual episode.
When did we have him on?
He came on to answer like a couple questions, like maybe like 3 or 4 months ago.
That's right.
I don't remember this.
I
You don't remember? He was on our pod.
Yeah.
Was I there?
I think it was. Yeah, I think I vaguely remember it. Was I?
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I'm almost positive.
I'll pull it.
I'm
Was I
almost positive.
suspended for this?
I don't remember this either.
I haven't talked to Ramon Foster.
Yeah, you have.
I think he was on, bro. I'm almost 100% positive.
I thought he was your brother for a really long time.
Yeah, that's what we used to fuck with each other in college. Fuck with everybody in college for a long time. To say that's my brother, no, for real. That'd have been lit.
Some of these quote tweets with the GIFs are hilarious.
It's some of the funniest quote tweets I've ever seen.
Dog, like that's gonna go down in one of the funniest. Like you remember, like yeah, I don't know if was y'all around for Nigger Navy?
Yeah.
All right, don't say it.
Yes,
but But it was one of the funniest days on Twitter, right? Like just that day in general. And so like when you go through those, like I had that much fun reading some of these quote tweets, dog. Like so much shit is like very funny, very dark, twisted humor, but it's hilarious. Like some brilliant comedy in there. Like if anything, it was worth all of that. It was definitely worth that. We started a viral trend.
I bookmarked a bunch of my favorites. There's a kid banging on a front door with a Ring camera with a whip. It says Adrian Peterson coming home after reading his 2014 script.
Oh my God. I ain't even gonna say that one. Go ahead.
There's one. It says Jason Pierre-Paul reading his 2015 offseason script, and it's Hannibal Buress just looking at his hands.
Saw that one.
I mean, there's so many.
I put together a blog with all the highest trending ones, and one of them is Michael Vick's dog seeing the 2007 script, and it's a pug just freaking out.
Oh, that's funny. We got to post some of them shits on the page, man, because some of them shits is pure comedic.
Yeah, I'll have
genius,
to
man.
go through all of them. And
I went through them and blogged them this morning.
Will
I'll
you
send them to
send
the
them?
group.
Yeah.
There's one where it's like Aaron Hernandez reading his 2013 script, and it's just Elmo like looking terrified.
I saw that one too. That shit is fucked up, dog. This shit is fucked up.
It's like Matt Ryan reading the halftime script at the Super Bowl.
I, for one, feel a lot better knowing that was scripted.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm actually gonna play this one, and it's cut. This one says Josh Gordon is dealer after getting the script. This one needs audio.
After all this, you still...
I still want that gas, yes. And you had better deliver.
After all this...
Just like I still want the gas. It's better in the tweet format.
Yeah, no, I think these play way better over Twitter. But it was a funny day. Glad to have participated in it. For all those who are coming here to check and see what I really feel, no, that shit isn't scripted. Stupid. That would be dumb as hell.
No. Yes, it is. Yes, it
Fuck
is.
that. Ain't no way you can get 30 people on the same page, much less an entire league, bro. Cut the games.
Barstool's scripted.
Facts.
We all get a script.
I mean,
every
shit.
day.
For all as we know, life is scripted. You know what I mean?
There is an argument to be had that by that measure, the NFL is scripted.
Okay, if we take it to that extent, then it is. Yeah.
I mean, actually,
While the world is staged, we all just play our part or some shit like that. Shakespeare said some shit like that.
there's actually a greater philosophical sort of way this ties into like predestination. Like how
That's what I'm saying. Like if you don't believe in free will, then the NFL is scripted.
True. That's like big Protestant Reformation vibes. We'll look back into history.
I dug into free will a while back and read a whole bunch of books on it, and I'm not sure that free will exists, especially in the way that we think of it. But I remain unconvinced that free will in that sense is a thing. I don't even think it's possible, honestly.
That's interesting to me. I would feel like you would have the exact opposite take.
Well, no, because I think free will exists in the sense of like I can pick up this piece of paper and if I want to, like that. In that sense, it was like I have agency over what I do. But if you break it down evolutionarily, if you break it down scientifically, it's hard to make an argument that it actually exists. Because if all we are is a product of our environment and our genes, neither one of those are in our control, right? So if you're a product of your environment and your genes, you're gonna be reacting to your environment in concordance with how your genes are structured and the way your synapses fire in your brain, and none of that has anything to do with your control. And so if we can assume those premises to be true, I fail to see how you actually have real agency over real events in your life and how you feel about things.
And that's why I guess it's kind of, I would say that those things can influence you to make a decision, but you still have to make the decision.
Well,
but like, there's no way to really argue against one or the other because like you don't know. Sure,
it's a philosophical argument, but I'm always intrigued with the arguments, and so I would love to hear the counter argument. No, because like if let's say for instance I grow up and all I see is domestic violence, right? I see people in my house being violent. And so like I'm gonna have like some kind of predisposition to that event, right? Whether it be anti that or it causes me to react in a way that's normal for me, to I perpetuate that behavior. The initial domestic violence is the catalyst, and my genes would interpret how I interpret it. You know what I mean? And so it's really hard for me to see how you have control over that. If I'm predisposed to have certain kind of thoughts about this about this action, my reaction is kind of out of my control. It's wild. It's wild to think about. Einstein also didn't believe in free will. That is a whole nother aspect of it. When you break down like time and space they exist separate from your perspective of it. So we could like live in different, like we all agree we're sharing the same now, right? It's like we all say, okay, this is now, right? But depending on how you're moving through space is how you're moving through time. So if we're in different time and space, and you're moving slower or faster than me, our nows no longer correlate. So my now is here, your now is here, right? Whether it be a second or a millisecond or whatever. But what that means is the past is very real and the future is very real, and it's all happening. And you're just experiencing your own section of it in your now.
And that's why the NFL is scripted.
Yeah, we said all this to say that.
Just say that so then you can get something philosophical trending and going viral.
We already went viral. We ain't no going viral 2 days in a row. That shit would never happen.
Hey,
lightning don't strike twice, Billy.
Gotta stay hungry.
But there is any part of you like, fuck, man, I do all this shit to try to go viral, and such silly shit like that went viral?
Oh, I mean, I think I'm not really. That's a philosophical question, because there's some people like I don't really try. I don't know. It's weird. I never really thought I was ever gonna get like Big T. Do you try to go viral?
No.
Like I kind of got into this job, never actually wanted to be a content. I like never thought I'd be a content creator in my life. So like wanting to do outrageous shit to go viral isn't really like, I don't know. It's just good for the show. Like if the show goes viral, that like the show going viral. Actually, I want the show to go viral. I myself don't want to go viral.
I mean, I think we want the things we do to be viewed by a lot of people and do well. I don't do anything intentionally like I am setting out for this to go viral.
Yeah. I think that's the misconception about that clip as well. It's like, because I'm in the crosshairs, and so of course I get all the, even though it's fucking PFT that prompted that whole shit, but like I'm in the crosshairs and like people are like, you just want attention. I'm like, I promise you I don't. I could not care less about that shit. And it's silly. It's very silly.
Like PFT sort of crafted that whole situation. Honestly, just looking at how the Maestro works, like how he put that together, let you in, set you up, knowing, and then he like immediately after he's like, clip this, knowing that it would do the numbers. And it's more like he didn't really want to go viral. He just knew how to create great content that would spread to all parts of the internet, which was something very,
there's no way he knew it was. I think he knew it was gonna get a little traction. There's no way he gonna do with it.
Well, he knew it was gonna do well. No one knows, like, no one, like, I don't even think Steve Jobs or like these creators of stuff that are increasingly successful knows that it's gonna do like that well. Like they think it's gonna do decently, but it's just, we're content creators. I mean, we work in this field, so seeing something like that occur in real time is just so like, it's like watching Bo Jackson running the football. Like you appreciate that to a different level, I know it sounds stupid, but
it's your baby you created in the lab.
It's like, wow. Like
it's right, because like I'm not really in the, I mean, I guess I'm on this podcast, but I'm not really in the world of content creation, so I never try to curate anything. And I think I've been viral, for real viral, like 4 times in my life. I think the first one was
Wolf.
So this one, definitely the wolf. The very first one was when I was just honest. It was just like an honest moment. I had pulled my hamstring and I took a picture of it and posted it on Instagram. and like it went crazy. Like I had sports segment shows arguing about it, all that type of shit. And I think the other one was when I signed my contract initially, I cried in the press conference, and that went pretty viral. So much so it's like LeBron James started following me and shit. It was a pretty cool moment for me. But it was like, and that I think that was the only moment I went viral for where it was like showed my humane side. The other ones is like, you're a fucking idiot. You can't beat a wolf. NFL's not scripted.
I would maybe also add tacos. That went pretty viral.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was viral too. Yeah, it's only five or six times. Yeah, 5.
Wait,
so 5, yeah.
So what kind of picture do you take of your hamstring? Just literally like a picture of your...
No. It was the actual MRI that showed the information on the backside. And people were like, "You're giving away secrets to the other team." I'm like, bro, they obviously know what a hamstring looks like when it's pulled. I promise you. But it's whatever.
Do you have like... I
just didn't think of it. I just really just like... It was like, man, that was Instagram's early days too. Like I'm talking about early. Like when the Instagram found first come.
Instagram?
I think it was like...
2012.
I remember when
I think it was before that. It was like, I remember like late 10, early 11.
2010.
There you go. Yeah. So that was in 2011 is when I did that. And I was like anti-awesomeness or some shit like that. And yeah, people went ape shit.
I searched your name on Twitter just to see what people are saying. This is pretty funny. I always liked Arian Foster because he had a unique personality among NFL players, but that personality was mostly your weed dealer who tells you he's training his dog to be a Navy SEAL.
That's crazy. That's just a guy capitalizing on the moment. I ain't even mad at it. Get your clicks, dog.
And you hate dogs.
And I hate dogs. And I hate dogs. Pretty impressive shit though, man. That this little podcast that we started could reach the world like that, man.
The little engine that could.
Well, it keeps on going. Keeps on going and going, man. What else we got? There's not much else going on in the world today. Actually, Tom Brady retired. Yeah, part of the script.
It is a tough argument to make against the script when the day after this comes out, maybe Goodell tries to cover it up a little bit with Tom Brady retiring.
Damn. It was crazy. Is like there's several other NFL players trending because of the script thing.
Yeah.
Because of the jokes that they're getting off just because of the script. That's what's even more funny. But is he done for real? Is Tom done for real?
Yeah, I think so.
We have more. That tweet has more views than Tom Brady's retirement tweet.
Probably.
Shout out to that.
That's crazy.
Dr. Phil also retiring. Another GOAT.
I would not call him a GOAT.
He's a TV GOAT.
I could see Big T being the next Dr. Phil. That'd be amazing.
That's a compliment I am not worthy of.
I think you could do it.
No, Dr. Phil's a legend.
I know.
I think he's definitely a legend, but I like some of the shit I'm not a fan of. I've watched a little bit of him, but like some of the shit he says is stupid, but some of the shit he says is cool. He started that fucking who that
Cash Me Outside.
Bad Baby.
Yeah, they started that shit. So for that alone, you get a little doc.
She's a millionaire now, which is
many times over. I bet she's richer than Arian.
Yeah.
Yeah, she made more on
Probably.
OnlyFans in like a day than Arian.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Wow.
There's no telling. I can't 100% see a lot of this shit because a lot of the money that these cats get, they either trick it off or it's not as real as it looks. And so I never really do the celebrity net worth things because I know people who are hella rich that don't get marketed that way and exactly the opposite. So you can never really tell. But yeah, he started that shit.
Some of the richest people in the world, we just have no idea who they are.
That's the kind of rich I want to be. You don't know who I am.
But like they're richer than Putin, and they just stay in the shadow.
I mean, you're describing the Saudi royal family. We do know who they are. We just don't know how much money they have.
Yeah, just like crazy.
$1 trillion or so.
I was just looking up your press conference, and I didn't know that you interviewed PFT like 4 years ago for your podcast.
Yeah, in Big Cat. Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Go listen to that.
Yeah, it was a really good podcast, man. We had a lot of dope ass guests on.
It's in our old office. Yeah, you got Snoop Dogg.
I had Snoop. I had one of my favorite ones. Wasn't like a well-known dude, but we had this dude named Nick Irving. Nick Irving was a army sniper, and like he told stories on there how like he actually like killed somebody, like, and like the first time he did it, and like what it did to him and how he processed the shit. It was one of my favorite episodes because it was so fascinating. It was wild.
I didn't know you interviewed Beto too. That I gotta listen to that.
Yep, definitely interviewed Beto.
I'll skip
my
that
politics weren't as left as they were now.
Yeah.
But it's still a good conversation.
I'm adding the sniper one to my watch later. on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, it's a really good one.
I listened to your interview with PFT and Big Cat before I started on here. Like,
really?
Because I didn't really know who you were. No offense.
Nah, I mean,
Before I started working here, like I knew you were an NFL player, but obviously I was like a 12-year-old girl when you were in the NFL. And so I was like, who is this guy? And then I watched your PFT Big Cat interview. That was like one of the first things I watched of you.
that's wild.
I know.
Come full circle, huh?
I know. How funny is that?
Come full circle. What else going on in the world of news today?
I don't know. T, you're usually caught up on that.
There's a lot of this Twitch streamer drama between Mr. Beast and this dude who had to apologize for being caught watching deep fake porn of some of his not coworkers but fellow Twitch streamers like Pokimane. It's a whole thing. I think this guy's
catch me up on this because I think I seen PFT tweet about that shit, but I don't know exactly what's going on. Tweet.
So basically, there's a
up.
Twitch streamer named Atrioc, I think. Yeah, Atrioc, YouTuber streamer, and he was like streaming and he was going through, and at one point his stream went to his tabs pages. I think he was trying to just like on his PC separating all of his different apps and whatnot, and it showed a page that was on a website that was deep fake porn of fellow streamers, Pokimane and another female streamer. And then, his stream basically caught him. And,
Wait, hold on. So he beat off at his like computer where he streams?
he was just viewing, he was looking at it. He then apologized with his wife in the background, and he was crying during it and apologizing for looking at the stuff.
Hold on. Oh, so he didn't beat off to it.
We don't know, but he says he didn't.
Well, okay. Why is his wife in the background?
Because it's like, I don't know. He's trying to come over.
I think he got caught beating off, or else why would his wife be in the background?
I think he brought his wife to get compassion from the viewers. I feel like when you have that, like, I don't know. I think when your whole, like career is about likability, that kind of stuff plays. It was, I think it's pretty ridiculous to people outside of the screen, but it does bring up a very interesting point about deep fakes, AI technology. He apparently said it was for research purposes, which is like
that's cap.
I mean, it's crazy. What's that? Rule 34. What is that?
That anything that exists has porn.
Yeah. So like,
has porn made about it. So like, whether that be fan fiction or literal like porn. So like, there's barstool porn out there. I'm sure.
Sure.
Like fan fiction. There's definitely like Big Cat PFT fan fiction where they fall in love.
So this is probably like equivalent situation.
Your face.
This is probably equivalent situation if I got caught looking up deep fake Big Cat and PFT stuff, and then I like apologized. Like on that.
Oh, are they in the same social circle?
Kind of. They've streamed together. That's why. But then it brings up like,
oh wow, yeah. Well, has she responded to it? That's kind of
she's like non-consensual porn because it is like people like becoming sexualized without consent.
I think I first came in contact with something like that when remember, I think it was like early 2010s when people were hacking like famous people's iClouds and like exposing they like nudes and shit. And like people were putting them all over the internet. And I remember, I think it was Jennifer Lawrence that came out. She was like, and I'm paraphrasing her, but she came out and said something along the lines of like, if I don't consent to it, like that's rape. Like you're degrading me. Like I never gave you consent. Like that shit changed my entire outlook on that. Cause I just couldn't imagine like a woman that I love going through that shit. Like even deep fake. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking infuriating and degrading. There's no way that's okay. I'll never fuck that. That shit's disgusting though.
So this guy was basically in trouble because he was sort of not encouraging, but sponsoring those types of actions by viewing it. But he claims he was doing it for research.
That's cap. Why would you keep tab up? Or why, like if you're doing it for research, why not? Like what research? You know, I have so many follow-up questions. There's no way.
He said it was out of morbid curiosity was his quote.
That's not research.
He was like, what? Like, what is this? I gotta see this.
Nah, man, exactly what it sounds like, G.
And he also said he was clicking on like a link. I think there was something. Let me look. But like he was on a porn website, so he admitted to being on a porn website and saw an ad for that and clicked on it.
And clicked on that, so he wasn't. So he'd be beating off at his desk. He has to.
Wait,
he has to.
Let me.
100%. Yeah.
No,
He's like, the link popped up and it just happened.
And that's conflicting. And he also looked at it because of research. So he was on a regular porn site, saw an ad, clicked on it while he was researching.
Wait. Actually, this is way worse. He admitted that he clicked on an ad for a deep fake porn while browsing Pornhub. What?
Yeah, that's no.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
That
he was
ad,
just strolling Pornhub for research.
That ad took him to another subscriber-only website. He said where he paid to view the images of popular female streamers. He was driven by more. That's so much worse.
That's even. Yeah, it's way worse.
I just described it in a way. His wife said that porn is not a pattern. Non-consensual. That his watching non-consensual porn is not a pattern of behavior. His wife, cosplayer Arian Ewing, sat in the background of the stream and cried.
Cosplayer? That's her profession?
Yeah, man. Everyone does something for a living. Like, you gotta respect it.
You don't have to respect it.
Like, come on. We're podcasters.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who don't respect that.
Yeah. So who are we to judge?
I was just asking if that was her profession or a hobby.
Hey.
So she caught him doing this and made him apologize on like a stream?
I don't. No. The streamers caught him because he had the tab open.
The tab was open.
Got it.
When he showed his screen.
Got it.
That's why it's bullshit. If they never caught him, we would have never heard about his fucking research. That's nonsense.
That sucks.
That is crazy.
Imagine getting caught looking up like Barstool deepfakes.
That's wild, bro. That's wild, bro.
I hope that doesn't exist.
Where do you stand on
It definitely
deep
exists.
fakes, Big T?
Do you think it exists?
Barstool porn? 1,000%.
Are
I
you-
could go find it right now. I'm not going to.
Are you going to do the morbid curiosity research?
I'm not going to do the morbid curiosity research because all business Pete would be able to see that on my laptop. But no, I also don't have the morbid curiosity to know if the people I work with have porn written about them. But yeah, it definitely exists. Obviously it's not gonna be like real porn, but it's gonna be like fan fiction. Yeah, 1,000%.
Which is like
I'll look
writing.
I'll look
It's
it up.
writing. It's like writing,
bro, people write like weird shit.
not like novels about celebrities.
That's not that.
And it's like smut. So it'll be like PFT went in and yeah.
Okay.
No, you're non-consensually creating stories.
I didn't say shit. I just said 3 words.
What should I type in for that?
Nothing. Don't
spawn.
don't do it.
Barstool
I gotta see
fan
it.
fiction.
Yeah, I typed that in. Nothing came
We're
up.
gonna have
Go
to
to a-
stream you crying.
Go to wait. Everybody stop talking. Madeline was about.
Why'd you know where to go?
Stop talking. Madeline was about to admit she knows the website where this kind of stuff exists.
Yeah, I was on Tumblr in high school. Yeah.
Oh, it's just Tumblr?
Yeah, Tumblr, and then like from there it's like Wattpad is a big one. Do you remember like after like the Harry Styles movie? I don't know. I asked you guys that.
I didn't know there was a Harry Styles movie.
Maddie, as your lawyer, I'm gonna advise you to stop talking about this.
Wattpad is it's not like it's like a very well known website. Wattpad is where it would be.
What is that called? Wattpad?
Yeah.
WAPAD?
WATTPEA.
Oh,
JJ Wattpad.
Yeah.
got it.
That's that's not me like incriminating myself. That's like every.
No, I wouldn't have you say it if I thought it was illegal.
So that's a thing. Reading those stories.
Yeah, that's like it's like every like One Direction member had it. Like Harry Potter, Star Wars, all of them. They take characters and.
But hold on, ain't Harry Potter underage?
I think I don't know. I've never seen or read Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's
but
getting,
okay, then they have it, and it's like
yeah,
it's like they'll be like
illegal.
Hermione and Ron, or or it's a lot of the times it's like in their fan fiction world, it'll be like two of the guy characters that are straight in the books or the movies that are gay in like so like One Direction had it where Harry Styles and then one of the other members, Louis Tomlinson, people would write fan fiction about them being together.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So Dr. Jordan Peterson was right.
What about Rule 34?
No, I saw a clip about him and he was literally talking about how a lot of people read novels.
Yeah, like it's like smut novels, like how like your mom would buy romance novels in the grocery store. It's the same thing, but it's just fake.
Do people like actually do people like masturbate to this stuff?
Yes.
So time out. There's people out there who, because I thought it was kind of a synonymous thing. I mean, like across the board, everybody masturbates to visual things. There's people who read stuff,
yeah, a lot
and get off to that.
Yeah.
Dr. Jordan Peterson was on
That's
Rogan
wild.
recently, and he said that there's some people who there's like two types of like sexuality when it comes to masturbation. It's like visual, which you're talking about, Arian, and then there's like people who read stories.
Yeah, that's the fan fiction. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I'm for sure going on a list for looking this shit up. But I can't. So I typed in Barstool, and there's one about this, like, so you would think that PFT's government name is on here, but it's the other person's name is Ray. So I don't know if this is about Barstool or if this is just.
Or it's like PFT. If the person had a crush on PFT, it'd be like PFT and your name, like insert your name.
Yeah, his government name's on here, but. Yeah,
Wait,
this is fucked up. Yeah, I don't want to read this
wrote
shit.
Read it to us, and we'll cut it.
Yeah, but all right.
Actually, let's not.
No, you don't want to. No, I actually don't want
part because PFT's not here. So if he walks in, he's like, "What the fuck, guys?" So let's like.
No, it's fine. But yeah, I'm not reading this.
Yeah, but that's what people do. That's what like girls will write like 100,000 word novels about.
Time out. We're gonna tell him when he comes that we found this.
I think
it's his choice whether or not to read it. I want to give him the option.
Okay.
But I would. Is there any of me? I would. Definitely.
I would love, even if we don't have to read it aloud on the show, but just his reaction to reading it.
I'll read one sentence. Ray fucked like a jackhammer, not even trying to make it smooth for Eric.
Yeah, he's got to read that.
Yeah.
He's got to read that.
No, we gotta delete all of this. We are just as bad as Atrioc right now.
How?
Because
But I don't know if they're talking about PFT. That's the thing. I just typed in Barstool. It's called Barstool, but the quote that starts it says, never noticed it till now, but these fucking stools are giving me back pain. So I don't know. Regardless, this is fucked up. This is way too descriptive.
I think that's something different. Okay.
I got to get off this
That's
website.
wild. Yeah, you're definitely flagged now.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Knock on the door.
The
of
shit
the
that's on
podcast
here.
Studio.
That was like maybe the most PG thing I could have read.
I'm back in the studio. The boys and girls have something that they want to tell me, something they want to ask me about. So we're going to get to that after this ad read, and then we'll get into a bunch of stuff about the Silk Road. But the second half of the show is brought to you by Barstool Bites. Part of My Cheesesteak specifically. Part of My Cheesesteak is a delivery and pickup only restaurant brand bringing you craveable cheesesteaks and loaded fries. Part of My Cheesesteak is now available in hundreds of select locations nationwide, with new locations being added every single week. Part of My Cheesesteak's menu features 6-inch and 12-inch classic cheesesteaks, Chipotle cheesesteaks, or buffalo chicken cheesesteaks, plus loaded fries and the delicious dessert brownie bites. The brownie bites are awesome. The cheesesteaks are great too. Get lunch, dinner, or late night delivery. We're open 7 days a week. Go to pardonmycheesesteak.com. Learn more. Order now on DoorDash, UberEats, Postmates, or on Grubhub. That's Pardon My Cheesesteak. I love Pardon My Cheesesteak. Get one Billy style. it's just a regular cheesesteak. But then once they deliver it to you, you add a bunch of hot sauce, and then you complain about eating it, and then you eat it, and it's delicious, and you love it. Part of my cheesesteak. All right, I'm back in studio. Sorry I missed the first part of the show. You know that I wouldn't miss part of the show unless it was for something special, so I had to run off campus for a little bit. I'm back now. Almost ran out of gas on the way back. That would have been a nightmare on the highway.
You know, it's cool. They pay for your gas with that certain company you're using. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. There's a little
awesome.
card that was in the cart. So you guys had something that you wanted to ask me or talk to me about?
So
Yeah, okay, so I'll do it. All right, so we were discussing there was a streamer that you tweeted about when he got caught. We don't know if he got caught watching or just was doing research. He was definitely looking at the deep fake of some other streamer.
Yeah.
And that got to us to talking, and Mad Dog actually exposed herself for
No, I didn't expose anything.
Yeah, he did.
knowing about some hot barstool page where they do like
Mad Dog.
they do like these like fan fucking,
Rule for-
but like they just type it out fantasy shit. Hold on, y'all. Let me cook. Hold on, y'all. This is irrelevant. What y'all?
Barstool fuck a fan?
Yeah. No. Fuck a Barstool employee.
No.
Where they're just like fans just type in like weird shit about like their fantasies about y'all. But anyway, so
No.
there is a thread about you. Maybe. We don't know if it's 100% about you, but we wanted to know if you wanted to read it out loud because we believe in consent on this show.
I'll read it out loud, but I reserve also the right to delete this part of the podcast later.
Yes.
Because I don't know what I'm about to read out
Same.
loud.
So
Sustained.
so Mad Dog basically had an Avery JOI moment.
No, I did it. I did it.
If you know about that stuff, that means that you had to frequent it.
It's
I did it.
I still don't understand what this page is. So
It's Rule 34. You know Rule 34?
no.
It's
Everything
like
on the
everything that
internet.
everything on the internet has porn around. it.
Okay.
So I said, I bet you PFT has fan fiction written about him.
I gotta go.
Then
what's the
Avery
name-
went and looked it up.
What's the name of the website again?
And I know
Then I said,
Wattpad.
we shouldn't go into this without PFT's consent because
I appreciate
we don't-
that,
Yeah,
Billy.
I was the man
But
of reason.
they're trying to tell me that just because I know what the website is that I'm some crazy person. No, every girl growing up knew what that was.
Okay.
So you do know what it is.
I know what the website is.
But
I
it's
know
not
what a
her
lot of
fault.
Know
It's
what
not her
it
fault
is,
that she
or
knows
do
it.
not know what it is.
I know what the website is. I know what a lot of websites are.
It's not her fault
You
that
have
she
an
knows what it
account.
was. It's not like she
No, I
invented
don't
the
have an account.
website.
Yeah.
She just goes to it all the time.
I don't go to it all the time. I've never no, but I know the
Like a
website.
You've
Silk Road
never-
user.
No, I've
You've never.
For the
like,
record, I've been to the Silk Road. Just want to get that off my chest.
okay. Like I know what Pornhub is. I've never been on Pornhub in my life. That's the same thing.
All right, so
Okay,
I'm gonna
send it over.
I'm guilty of that.
So I typed in Barstool Sports Wattpad, and this is what came up as the first one. I don't know if it's associated with Barstool, but the people in it, one of them is your first name, your first government name,
brother.
your brother. Yes.
May
Rest
he
in
rest in
peace.
I don't think it's actually about him.
So the beginning is like fine, but if you get deep enough, it's really bad. It's really bad.
Is there
and
any-
I read maybe the most PG part of the entire thing.
Is there any parts that would denote it's actually about Barstool Sports or just a Barstool?
It's so long, I didn't want to read that deep, but like I would say about 80% of this is like extremely detailed sex things.
You sent me this, and I regret clicking on it. But having done so, this isn't about Barstool Sports.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah,
I have a yeah.
I'm scrolling through her right now.
it's sick. I gotta get off this page. It's
This-
actually sick.
I don't think this is about me.
It's not.
This is a furry thing.
What?
But the title was Barstool, so I read part of it. But yeah, it's bad.
Oh, I'd be getting some furry action.
This is about me fucking a furry
Yep.
who's pretending to be a dog.
Wait,
I want to make it clear that I didn't read that stuff in high school. I didn't read that.
No,
Not
it's
clear.
It's not, because I say that I'm only 41.
Yeah. This is.
I don't think this is.
This is disturbing.
I actually
yeah.
think we found. I think we found something
I
that
can't believe this guy. Whoever wrote this
I
needs
don't-
to be in prison.
Oh my! I regret. No, Stop.
What'd you find?
No,
that bad?
I'm not gonna say it. I'll screenshot it and send it to y'all.
So you know what?
No, we don't have to cut it, but I don't think we should talk about this.
We don't have
Yeah,
to cut it.
no,
I don't.
this is-
There's nothing in here
Yeah,
besides the first name that would indicate that this was me.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's like a coincidence.
I've hand up. I've never fucked a dog or anybody who pretends that they're a dog.
Got it.
Never happened.
Anyone who pretends, are you denying the lived experience and gender identity of furries?
We're talking about. It's not gender. It's pretend to be an animal.
That's a form of self-expression.
It's not. Shut up. Shut up.
Speaking
Not very lib of y'all.
Speaking of furries, so like when my feet got on a live stream one time,
Yeah.
a bunch of random accounts started messaging me to send feet pics.
Uh-huh.
Since that Kansas City superfan video came out, a lot of random anonymous accounts DMing me being like, "Hey, do you like dressing up as an animal?" And I was like, "Whew,
Do you?
no."
But that was a maybe.
I mean,
That your inflection went up there.
no. I mean, it was fun dressing up as a superfan.
You said no like it was a question.
But like it was crazy. There's the same interest.
Yeah.
Like it brought them out. Like me just putting on that mask and interviewing people in it.
Yeah.
They didn't care who I was, so I put on the mask.
No, this is officially
I can relate, Billy. I can relate.
not me in this fanfic.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the name of the website?
Wattpad, but Mad Dog knew about it
Shut
somehow.
up! No, you guys are being annoying. Shut up! No, I didn't.
Mad Dog.
I know what the website is.
Hold on, you definitely knew about it.
I know what the website is. Yeah, I know what a lot of websites are. So do you guys.
So
I've never heard of this.
when
You know different things, Arian.
when I brought up Rule 34, I was
We
giving
do.
an
We
example.
know different things.
I was
Yep.
giving an example of how the streamer was like looking up basically some of his coworkers. So it'd be
Yeah.
like if I got caught looking up, a Rule 34 about Pardon My Take.
He was watching like deep fake stuff with
Yeah.
his coworkers.
Yeah. So it would be like if there was a PFT and Big Cat deep fake and me being caught watching it.
Got it. That would be weird.
And then Mad Dog was like, "There's definitely is Rule 34. It's on this website. What's that?"
I didn't say it like that.
I know.
Billy.
It wasn't like that.
You guys
but
are making it seem like I go seek this shit out.
no.
I don't.
But should we now, for the listeners, go seek some of this out and see if it's real?
Nope.
No.
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 Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
No, because the shit I just saw, I never want to see again.
Yeah, I read.
And what Big T said, it sent in the chat, isn't even close to as bad as what's at the bottom of it.
I read too much on that page
Yeah.
already.
You guys are annoying. I didn't do that kind of stuff,
So,
especially about my coworkers.
This has been yeah.
Yeah, if you watch deep fake stuff of your coworkers, you should be in prison probably. Unless you're dating them.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I'm definitely against it. What are you guys' thoughts on the efficacy of it as far as, or not even the efficacy, the legalities of it? Like, should we make it illegal?
I think it probably should be, because imagine that you're on the internet one day and all of a sudden a clip of you goes viral and you're like fucking on it. Yeah,
Oh.
imagine that.
That's different.
But imagine it's like a video of you fucking somebody and it's
That
not
would be
you.
wild, man.
It's something that somebody's created. But what's the old saying? It's like a lie will travel around the world before the truth has a chance to put its pants on.
That's exactly what happened with Arian today.
Yeah. So what? I think that could ruin somebody's entire life.
Yeah,
That's
but
true. Yeah.
And their stuff, I saw a TikTok yesterday. It was the top was Morgan Freeman and the bottom was a guy doing a voiceover, and Morgan Freeman's mouth was moving with this guy's voice. And like, if you didn't see the bottom, it was Morgan Freeman talking.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Deepfakes, they scare me.
yeah,
The only way that I think to counteract this type of shit is there needs to be like a software detection thing that we need to run the video through. You know what I'm saying? Like, engineers need to be working around the clock on that shit like yesterday, just because it can get really like it's in its infancy. And so like 10 years from now, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. And so there needs to be like, yo, run it through the blah, blah, blah. So we can see if it's real or not. And
If it's
that
got-
shit needs to be known.
well,
If it's got like the robot fingerprints on it, the AI fingerprints on it, then
something.
this is
Yeah.
why like they're should be limits to free speech on the internet and things that you can put on certain websites. I think like Twitter's big enough where it can actually ruin somebody's life if something like that comes out. They don't have a chance to make it clear that it's not them, or even they do make it clear and not enough people see the denial of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We're in a weird place right now.
I don't think the technology is quite there yet. I know they're making a movie using the deepfake technology to make Tom Hanks look younger. But the Tom Cruise deepfake that goes viral on Snapchat of a guy pretending to be Tom Cruise, you can still kind of tell it's not him.
Yeah.
And I think in all these videos.
But that was from like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And things are,
Exponential.
yeah, it's improving real fast.
Shout out PFT, 100 million views on the tweet.
All right. I'm sorry if Arian's reputation has been sullied.
Oh
by
my
that tweet,
God,
'cause
Sam.
I watched it back this morning and
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way that people think that he's being serious with this. If you watch it and you listen to what Arian's saying.
I think what's getting lost behind all this is my acting skills. I think that's what nobody's paying attention to right now. I mean, Draft Day was absolutely a hit, and then this, I should be able to put this on my acting resume.
Yeah.
This probably got more views than Draft Day, honestly.
You should go back and retroactively get hired by Yellowstone based on your performance in this.
Absolutely. Run it back and say, I mean, look how I got the internet going nuts. Do y'all want this for your show? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually crazy because Big T is also in the video and he asked that question. The fact that after that, people didn't realize it was a joke.
I was so proud of that line too. I texted a friend of mine yesterday. I was like, I've got a line in tomorrow's Macrodosing that's like extremely funny. And it's been just completely overshadowed.
I think that's the best part of the clip is Big T at the end just coming over the top with, well, fuck you, atheist.
I rarely think I'm funny. I was like, that was really funny. And no one cares.
It started the trend because everyone's quote tweeting just like you made that comment, like a hypothetical situation that's funny.
Yeah.
So you started a serious internet trend.
Yeah.
Big trend.
Big trending. I like it. I was telling Mad Dog just a couple minutes before you got on here that I was considering muting the conversation because I know you muted your replies and stuff on Twitter.
Easily.
I was thinking about doing it, but then every time I would consider doing it, another professional football player would say something very funny about like Robert Mathis just said, wait a second, I thought when Arian scored against us, I was trying to stop him. Those sorts of things.
Oh, damn. I missed a whole bunch of shit like that. Yeah. I just stayed off because I started to get a whole bunch of the DeMar Hamlin, was him getting CPR? Was that scripted too, asshole? I'm like, oh my God, you niggas is dumb.
Yeah. Well, and there's also a lot of people that preemptively said, now watch, Arian's going to try to walk this back tomorrow, but he's already said it and we know the truth now. People that are like, man, you like basically fall into a couple different camps watching this video. Some people are like, man, Arian Foster is an idiot. Or you're like, this is very funny. Or you're like, Arian Foster finally speaks the truth. Thank you, Arian. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I won't be told otherwise. I always knew something was up. And thank you for being the first person with the guts to say it.
Yeah.
So one guy was like, I've always known that this was the case. I'm so glad that Arian's the first one with the balls to step up and say that there's a script. And then somebody replied to him and was like, why is he the only one that said that? And the first person replied, you ever hear of NDAs? They make every player sign an NDA and they're not allowed to talk about it.
Yes, during the NDA session, I just happened to not be there that day.
I mean, if DeMar Hamlin tweets about it and does like the Vince McMahon, like when he gets blown up in the limousine gif, that would be hilarious. Like that would break Twitter.
He could possibly break the internet if he chimed in on it.
Yeah. If he talked about the script that he got.
Yeah.
So I got news for you guys. Everyone that's listening right now, Macrodosing is actually scripted. So it's an entertainment podcast. So just so you know, we script everything out ahead of time. And we said, okay, today we're going to have Arian pretend to be acting, but also saying some real stuff. And then we scripted all that out knowing the response that it would get. So you've played right into our hands. Haha.
You owe me something for all these bullets I'm taking right now. You owe me something. I don't know what it is yet, but I'll figure it out.
I do. You can write something for me to say that will have the internet attack me. How about that? And I'll do it. I do owe you some bullets for sure.
And you ain't even tagged me in the tweet. So it's like that's what made it even worse. You didn't even tag me in the tweet, dog. That's crazy.
I didn't tag you in it because I didn't want you to be getting like replies and stuff to it. The weird part is I was actually trying to look out for you by not tagging you.
Looking out for you have my internet well-being in mind. Thank you so much.
I did a really bad job of protecting you. I'm sorry.
You didn't put his @ in the body of the tweet, but you put us all in the like mentioned.
Oh, I tagged you in the photo. Yeah, in the video. Yeah, okay. My bad. My bad.
101 million views.
The deep
That's actually
web.
insane.
This has been the biggest macrodosing moment ever. 100%.
I don't know about that. When Big T sang Arian's song, that was pretty good too.
I'd forgotten about that. Somebody put that clip. It was like Arian when he saw the script for 2010.
Yeah.
And it was that clip. I'd forgotten about that.
You did a good job on that song. A very good job.
Thanks.
All right, so you guys want to talk a little bit about Silk Road? Billy said that he went on the Silk Road. Now, how old were you? Because the Silk Road stopped existing in what, 2012?
Yeah, it was my buddy in 7th grade. He was like, yo, let's go on the Silk Road. I was like, what is that? And he was like, it's this place that like sells guns and drugs. And there was the Wild West of the internet days. You had a friend who like would whip out live link and be like, what the fuck? At like sleepovers.
Yep.
And you're just drinking Red Bull because it's the hardest stuff you can get your hands on, like because you're trying to do cool stuff at sleepovers. And this dude just whipped out and like we're downloading Tor and going on the dark web. And I was like, what, dude? No, they're gonna take pictures of us. Block the. we like put tape over the camera. I was like, dude, they're gonna find us.
For us, it was Jolt Cola. Did you guys drink Jolt? Arian, you know what I'm talking about, Jolt, right? Jolt was the old school Red Bull. It was like it was the soda with the most caffeine. It had like 3 times the caffeine as Coke. And so we'd have sleepovers, slam some Jolts. And then, everybody did have that one fucked up friend that was like, look at this website. I remember my friend, he was like, this is called rotten.com. And he opened it up and I was like, dude, you are fucked in the head.
Yeah.
Stop showing this to me.
And then
did they sell frogs on Silk Road?
No.
Reptiles?
No, you gotta go to kingsnake.com. That's the forums.
That's the Silk Road of
where you
reptiles?
Yeah, that's where they were trying to sell those Dallas Zoo monkeys. That's the exotic animal classifieds right there.
Okay.
Yeah,
is it legal?
Yeah, 100% legal.
Yeah, totally sounds very legal.
I mean, they sell stuff that's legal in other places, but like, for example, exotic animals are totally legal in Florida or other states, but like you can't buy them in New York. But you could be like, hey, just ship it, and no one has to know what's in there.
They sell stuff that's legal in other places. It's such a great escape line.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you ever been to Amsterdam? All this stuff's legal there. It's legal somewhere. It's legal on Mars. So the Silk Road was founded in 2011 by a guy named Ross Ulbricht. Ross Ulbricht, who's currently incarcerated. We'll get to his sentence in a second. But Ross Ulbricht is a guy who's from Austin, Texas, went to school at University of Texas, Dallas, then went to grad school in Pennsylvania. I want to say Penn State. Was it Penn State that he went to? I think so. Anyways, he moved back to Texas after college, and he decided that he wanted to get into online marketplaces. So he started a book website, and his goal, he's a big libertarian. So he believes in complete legality and open source everything pretty much, and just kind of like letting the market take care of itself. And he came to the idea that there should be a marketplace for pretty much anything. Marketplace where people could buy and sell and let the market take care of itself with users, ratings, reviews, things like that. And he was setting up like a free-for-all online marketplace, and he wanted to call it the Silk Road, which was named after the old trading route that connected Europe and the Far East and China.
What Marco Polo traveled on
to
discover the Far East. So I thought the Silk Road, I misconstrued a lot of the stuff about the Silk Road 2.0, which we'll get into in a second, with the Silk Road. I thought the Silk Road had basically 0 limitations, but they actually had a code of service of stuff that couldn't be sold.
Well, so not at first. At first, Ross set up the website because he was like buying mushrooms on, I think it was like Shrooms or Shroomy, something like that. There was a forum that was like the Silk Road, but just for hallucinogens. And so he set up the Silk Road to open it up to all forms of drugs and pretty much anything that you wanted. And then some people started to list, in addition to ecstasy, mushrooms, LSD, weed, heroin, coke, all that stuff, people started to list guns on there. And at first he was like, okay, that's fine. Anything goes on here. And then I think his girlfriend talked him out of it. And they had to dial back some of the stuff. And he changed the code of conduct to be like, we're only selling stuff that can be positive, I think. I forget the exact wording of it, but he somehow deluded himself into thinking like everything that's sold on here is fine, except we're going to draw the line at guns. Because if you need to buy an anonymous gun online, there's no good reason possible that you would ever need to buy an anonymous gun.
Yeah, he prohibited the sale of anything whose purpose was to harm or defraud. This included child porn, stolen credit cards, assassinations, weapons of any types, and then other dark net markets such as Black Market Reloaded gained user notoriety because they were not as restrictive. So Silk Road wasn't the first sort of Wild West online marketplace. The first internet transaction of illegal goods was between Stanford students who bought weed from MIT students using ARPANET in the 1970s.
That's pathetic, honestly. Like you were such a dork if you need to set up a software service with encryption to buy a dime bag. That tells me you have no friends.
I think they were trying to do it for shits and gigs.
That's probably what they said, but the reality was like those Stanford nerds probably didn't have a place that they could go that they knew anybody. Like their solution was probably just like drive to a neighborhood in like downtown San Francisco, roll down the window, and then just ask somebody for weed.
Yeah, actually, I got that wrong. I think it was the other way around. They bought it from Stanford students who had the weed in California.
That makes more
MIT.
sense.
Yeah. So that was what they were doing in the 70s. News groups would cause mail order type drug buying in the 1980s. And then when the forums popped up, that technology, the Hive, was a forum where people sold drugs in the DMs while spreading drug synthesis and legal discussions. And basically all these places consistently kept on getting shut down, mostly because of the main factor, the payment system. So there was research chemical mailing lists. They were all shut down and arrested. And there was even cyber arms bazaar trafficking that was all based in Eastern Europe that got shut down. They were just selling hacking equipment, coding equipment, stuff that you could use to defraud people. All the early credit card scams. That was a marketplace, but again, all shut down. Before, the precursor to the Silk Road was something called the Farmers Market. It was launched in 2006. It was on the Tor browser, which the Silk Road also lived. The Tor browser, TOR, is basically, what you think of VPN circumnavigator actually does.
It was designed by the U.S. Navy, I think, and it was designed to be a completely anonymous way of using the internet. And so it encrypted all your IP addresses, all that stuff. So it makes you untraceable on the internet. And Billy's right. The fact that back in the day, even if it was like an anonymous website, you still had to pay for it somehow.
Yeah.
And so with the invention of Bitcoin, Ross saw an idea in the marketplace where he's like, well, we can do this anonymously online with the Tor browser, and then we can make the payments all on Bitcoin. And if you're smart about setting up your Bitcoin wallet, then it should be almost completely anonymous to do these transactions.
So yeah, PayPal and Western Union were all being used before, and that was so easy to trace money. Bitcoin really pioneered the decentralization of money, which a lot of people, crypto bros are all screaming about it. But a lot of the value that crypto gained over the years was specifically to buy, unmarketable goods, illegal goods. And the way the Silk Road payment system developed, which was very unique and allowed them to operate for so long before without detection, because Bitcoin still has wallets you can track and stuff like that. But basically what the Silk Road did, we're going to take a step-by-step look at their payment system from a government exhibit, how they had to explain it to the jurors, because they really had to dumb it down so that they could understand the manipulation, why these people could get away with it. So you're a buyer and you're going to the Silk Road. You exchange currency for Bitcoin, and then you put it in a regular Bitcoin account. You then transfer your Bitcoin to a Silk Road dark wallet account, which this sort of washes the Bitcoin in itself because it's basically a slush fund.
Yeah.
That Bitcoin is then denoted by your account on the Silk Road, which isn't as easy to track because only Silk Road has those records. And then it is put in an escrow Bitcoin wallet during the purchase. This is where Silk Road took its commission of the Bitcoin. The vendors then paid in from the slush fund to their dark wallet account, then to their Bitcoin account, and basically goes through a whole system where the Bitcoin is just put into a giant slush fund. The only people who can record the transaction is the Silk Road, and they just then divvy it out from their main pot.
So there's like 2 layers of washing that go on.
Yeah.
There's the Bitcoin dark wallet, or the Silk Road dark wallet,
Right.
and then there's the escrow account that Silk Road manages. So yeah, that would make it like pretty much impossible to detect who it's coming from. I'm curious to know from you guys, do you think that it's possible to have an online marketplace where you're selling drugs, things that maybe you're growing yourself, that you're making yourself, and have it all come out in like a positive fashion just based on a review policy? Where his idea was if they're selling bad drugs, they'll get bad reviews and then nobody's going to buy from them in the future. And so have like the rating system kind of weed out all the nefarious vendors that there are out there. Do you think that that's possible too? Would you ever buy drugs from a system like that?
No.
I wouldn't. Not until it's vetted properly. I think if they had a third party source that had to vet the drugs, like have a system to where you could vet the drugs, but until then, nah, it's a crapshoot.
Some of y'all may have to enlighten me. Is that any less reliable than buying drugs from Tim down the street?
Not really.
Very, 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 very less. It's way less reliable.
Why?
You don't think it is? I think it's less reliable because
once you know Tim, sure, but the first time.
Well, nah. Okay, let's say I'm with my homeboy and I'm like, I want to buy some weed. I know and trust my dude, right? I know and trust my guy. Like, so it's like there are people who are like, yo, this dude legit. Like we know where you get it from. There are people who vet their drugs and they've done it for years. And so there's a buddy system that goes on, but it's more reliable than clicking, let me buy drugs on this website. It's way more reliable than that. Because you have your Yelp reviews are people you know.
I know, but Tim could get drugs, have weed that's contaminated with fentanyl. I know that doesn't happen. That's total.
But coke does.
Yeah.
Or heroin would. So I think Arian in a sense is correct that if it's weed, most of that's like friend of a friend. You get introduced, then you become a customer there, and then you know that the quality's good. But there is a crapshoot element to it sometimes when there's no regulation of it, which is kind of what Ulbricht that was his point, which is the war on drugs is stupid, which I agree with. I think that the war on drugs and driving everything underground it takes a lot of the quality control out of everything because it's all illicit. There's no standards, and it's really easy for the supply chain to become contaminated with other things. And so he was thinking that if you were to set up this website that was mostly based on reviews and customer interactions, repeat customers, things like that, then it would eliminate some of the shady stuff that goes on in the drug trade. So, which I don't think he's totally wrong about.
So actually,
no, he is. This is what his girlfriend brought up. His girlfriend brought up the fact that, okay, say somebody overdoses, how they gonna review your drug?
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's what his girl at the time said.
There were a lot of subsequent studies on the site. There were tons of harm reduction trends because of the site, because not only were sellers selling the stuff, but in their advertisements they had to compete with other sellers, so they would give detailed drug usage instructions, like how to do the drugs, how to dissolve the drugs, like synthesis stuff, as well as in that competition with other vendors, they also had to, give certification of purity with a lot of them. And in turn, this was a great example in the freest of markets, how capitalism actually caused a little bit of good. Like, think about it.
Well, yeah. So in an ideal situation, this would all be fine. There would be no overdoses and things like that. And it would trend more towards, as the site matured and got older, there would be established vendors that would probably have cleaner stuff and more reliable stuff. But as it's a young site with new vendors popping up, there's a lot of a lot of question marks that go into like, who are you getting these from? You're taking a gamble basically at the beginning for anything. But yeah, I think in an ideal world, it could work. Now, Ross, when he came out of college, he didn't study computer engineering. He didn't study encryption. He wasn't involved in computer science to the extent that it would take to create this intricate website. So he definitely had help setting it up. And that's one of the things that we don't know exactly where the help came from, who was instrumental in that. He was the face behind it. He definitely had help getting started on it and building it out to the point where it was usable and where it was anonymous. And there's some speculation on who that might have been. He had some power users at the beginning that helped him to run the site, including, what was it, like Variety Jones was the name of one of the people that he was working with, or that was a screen name. But they helped him set up the entire payment system. And you'll also note that it'd be tough for the government to prosecute anybody if they just start up a website and they're like, well, whatever happens on the website, that's not my issue. So if he just started up a website, the Silk Road, and he said, I'm just creating basically a message board and online shop, and then I'm not creating anything else besides that, I'm going to let the users create everything. Almost like a Craigslist. If it was more of a Craigslist thing, then you can't point at Ross and be like, Ross is a drug dealer. Ross is setting all this stuff up. He's committing a crime. But what he did was he engineered that payment system where he was taking commission off everything. So he was profiting on all the transactions, which in the eyes of law enforcement makes him a drug dealer. And also on the website, they had like a menu on the side that said like marijuana, ecstasy, cocaine. So it's hard for him to say like, I didn't know what we were selling. That's up to everybody else, because he built the like cocaine link on his own website.
Oh, I had this in my notes, but another way that vendors used to compete, which is hilarious. There were some vendors who were even branding their opium or cocaine as fair trade, organic, or sourced from conflict-free zones. That was the funniest
Thank you.
thing.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
That's always been a concern of mine.
Yes.
You know?
Tell me what cocaine manufacturing zone is conflict-free. I would like to know that. It's probably like a laboratory somewhere, like wherever they made the stuff that went into Coca-Cola.
I like to know that my cocaine got there, calmly in a safe manner without any trouble. I would love for my.
No one was harmed in the making of these drugs.
It was a Vice. It was a Vice intern that got on a plane and it got him the job.
Yeah.
No one was killed.
It's farm to nose cocaine. It locally sourced artisanal ecstasy. Yeah, it was founded in February 2011. And the way that you can't just put up a website and be like, okay, well, the website's up. Now people are just going to know to type in silkroad.com or .tor or whatever it was and come use it. So he had to think of a way to market his website to get like the first people in the door. So he went on some crypto forums, some like old school crypto message boards, and just posed as a user asking a question like, hey, has anybody out there heard of Silk Road, the website? You can use it to buy drugs. I'm just curious. I'm thinking about doing it to buy some mushrooms, but I didn't know if they were legit or not. It seems like it's a pretty cool place. And so he's like basically whispering into people's ears like, hey, have you guys heard about Silk Road? Has anyone here? Can you tell me, does it work? Does it work? And so the first customers came in that way. And then through word of mouth, it just started to spread. And before too long, he was making a pretty decent amount of money. And he was acting as a moderator of the website. And once he started to get like a user base in place, he had, some people that were helping him out behind the scenes, and they were talking about what he should be calling himself. He needed like a nom de plume. He needed a fake name to like further establish the lore of the Silk Road. And one of his admins suggested that he take on the name, the Dread Pirate Roberts, which is from The Princess Bride. What's that guy's name? The guy that plays the Dread Pirate Roberts. He was in Robin Hood Men in Tights. He was in Saw. He's a pretty famous actor.
Oh, my name is.
That's a different guy. No. That's the dude from Homeland.
Carrie Elwes.
Yep, that's him. So the Dread Pirate Roberts in Princess Bride is, I think he's a bad guy. He's dressed like Zorro, kind of. And the deal with him is there are many Dread Pirate Roberts. So it's a name that gets passed down from like mentor to mentee, apprentice to teacher, things like that. So there'll be a Dread Pirate Roberts. Then once they start to age out of the role, they find somebody that's a worthy successor, and then they get the name Dread Pirate Roberts, and they can continue the tradition. So the idea, according to the chat logs that I've read, was that the name Dread Pirate Roberts was suggested to Ross because it could potentially allow him to claim that there are many Dread Pirate Roberts, many admins, many people that ran this website in the event that he was ever pinned down for being the main fall guy. He could fall back on the excuse of, well, there are other people that are doing it too. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't know if that's why he got that name, or maybe Ross is telling the truth, and maybe there were several Dread Pirate Roberts that were in charge, but he's the one that ended up taking the fall for it. But that's how he got the name for it. And so it kind of blew up in its first year. He started to make a lot of money off of it. And then obviously once a website like this gets big, you're going to attract a little bit of attention. And there's nothing that politicians like more than finding one pet cause that they can go after and use that to make a name after themselves. So Chuck Schumer found out about it. He found out about it after Gawker wrote an article about it saying, like, here's a website where you can buy drugs, everybody. Kind of a narc move, by the way, by Gawker to like really put it out there. I liken it to whenever I talk about illegal streaming websites, if you're in a place that you can't watch an NFL game or a specific college game you want to watch, I'm not going to say the name of any websites, but I've alluded to them before. And every time I even mention part of the streaming websites' names, I always get a shitload of people being like, dude, you can't say that. Please don't put the name of that website out there, because the more people find out about it, then the faster that'll get shut down and you'll have to find a new one. So Gawker wrote an article being like, hey, Silk Road is where you go to buy your weed. And then Chuck Schumer found out about it, gave a big press conference and said, we need to focus all our law enforcement on shutting this thing down. So there you go, Big T. Your guy, Chuck Schumer, stepped in.
Broken clock's right twice a day.
So do you think this website is a bad place?
Yeah, I'll go on the record as saying that. Yeah.
I'm actually, once I found out that they weren't in this specific Silk Road variant, the first one, like, didn't allow child pornography and assassinations and whatnot, I'm actually all for it.
Oh, good.
That's good.
I mean, like,
That's a good tagline for the website, isn't it? We no longer allow child pornography or assassinations.
but you know what's crazy? This dark web network really is the genesis of all of Bitcoin's value. So a lot of these crypto bros are in not the Silk Road in that form specifically. I think Silk Road 2 did allow everything, including child pornography, which is the reason why Bitcoin got a ton of its value, because it could be used for that stuff. So basically you had a whole network of pedos just pumping up this coin for that terrible usage. And you have people like, talk about blood diamonds, like people riding a crypto coin that like literally got value off the back of like that type of legal activity. Mm-hmm. It's wild.
It is wild. I mean, just anonymous payments in general. I think they're a good thing to a certain extent, but they're also used for some pretty bad stuff. I don't think I've ever bought Bitcoin. Have you? Do you have a wallet?
No, I haven't bought Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin through a proxy, be it Coinbase, where I don't actually have my own wallet.
Yeah.
So the blood's on their hands.
Yeah. I mean, we did that episode on crypto like a year and a half ago, and we got, what was it, Cumrocket coin?
Yeah.
I bought Dogecoin, but I did that on Robinhood. I did that on like another I bought stock or whatever. I don't even know what I did. I just know that I wanted to go to the moon.
Yeah. I actually didn't really know that, like, about looking into this more, but the idea that Bitcoin really got its value from that, like that huge boom, a lot of it was speculation, but that huge boom in the very beginning was all like dark web stuff.
When was this Silk Road discovered?
So
or what was his height?
So the article on Gawker came out June 2011, and then Bitcoin peaked in like, what was it, 2020, bruh.
Right, but that was the first bump in the beginning that like made people think, oh, this has value. Like that got all the crypto bros on it was because of that.
That could be.
The The 2020 stuff was because of the pandemic, and people thought there was going to be the banks were going to shut down, and everyone's money, like the dollar, was going to implode. Like people were buying Bitcoin the same way like Alex Jones used to advertise people to buy gold,
or the silver supplements that you would put in your water. Yeah, he was really into that. Alex Jones got really into selling. Was it colloidal silver? Remember when that tsunami hit Japan, and it took out the Fukushima nuclear reactor?
Yeah.
Alex Jones was going on the air every day back then, being like, the fish that they're pulling out of the Pacific Ocean are off the charts in radiation levels. It's going to make its way to the East Coast in rainstorms pretty soon. Start chugging silver. And so he was selling like all these silver supplements you could put in your water.
Not iodine?
No, there was silver. He also said colloidal silver is a good way to protect against all this stuff.
You know, there's a crazy story about that event, and totally ADHD off topic, but have you heard the story about the 80-year-olds who went in to help clean up?
Yeah.
Because they didn't want the young people to go, and they knew that the radiation effects would set in like basically after they were dead or shorten their life, but they're just totally willing to like go in and, deal with it because they wanted the next generation to like be unscarred by this disaster. And those same people literally lived through 1945.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
That's like a totally different level of service that I don't know. I don't think we'll ever see. Hopefully we'll see that more in the future, but it's just something like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That took some balls for sure. There were a lot of Bitcoins being passed around on the Silk Road, and Ross Ulbricht had a ton of money coming in. And so he started to hire some admins that were helping him out. Now, pretty soon, one of these admins got busted because in order to run a website like this, it's all well and good to have it be online. Everything's anonymous. But if you're buying drugs, you have to figure out a way to get your drugs from point A to point B. And that involves physical transportation. It involves somebody packaging it up somehow, sending it in the mail or via courier service, FedEx, UPS, USPS, DHL, things like that. And then you have to get it to a mailbox, and then somebody has to go to their mailbox, pick it up, and take it home. So they got creative with how they packaged some of the drugs up. Some places would send big cardboard boxes and then stuff, those little like holes in corrugated cardboard. Like in the actual cardboard, there's these little chambers that you can put things in. People would put their drugs in there. They would try to label it so it didn't look suspicious. But as the website grew in popularity, different mailing centers started to find that there were a lot of packages that all looked the same coming from these locations that nobody knew what it was they were doing at them. And so they started seizing some drugs out of the mail. And then what happens after that is they contact law enforcement when they see the address that it's supposed to go to. And then law enforcement starts staking out those locations to try to arrest people. So this one guy that was an admin, I think he was an admin, he was buying drugs in Salt Lake City. And so they found out his home address, they staked him out, and then he got shaken down. As part of the shakedown, they're not trying to make him serve any jail time or anything like that. They want to know about his participation in this new thing called the Silk Road. And so he gave up his credentials, his login credentials on the website, to federal agents. And then those federal agents logging in under his name would then find themselves talking to people that ran the back end of the website, including the Dread Pirate Roberts. And they would carry on these conversations, gathering more information and intel. And if you're Ross Ulbricht, you have no idea that the person that you're talking to is a different person unless you can pick up on them not knowing, I don't know, whatever slang that you're putting out there. They eventually established like little handshakes, like set patterns that they would start off their conversations with, where if you didn't respond in the correct way, he would know that you weren't you. But at the beginning, he wasn't that smart about making sure that he was talking to the right people. So federal agents infiltrated it a little bit. And then maybe the funniest part was, Ross eventually got arrested for a lot of stuff. One of the things he was accused of was murder for hire behind the scenes on this website. So he was alleged to have commissioned, I think, 5 or 6 separate murders for hire. The first one was put to his attention by a federal agent that took this guy's info from Salt Lake City. So he took this guy's identity from Salt Lake City and then set up this big behind the scenes operation where he would he acted like he was going to sell out the entire Silk Road. So let's see if I can explain this a little bit better. The federal agent posing as the drug user / dealer from Salt Lake City contacted Ross Ulbricht and was like, hey, just so you know, I want to blackmail you. And I've got a list of all these vendors and all these users, and I've kept track of all their shit behind the scenes. And unless you pay me a certain amount of money, I'm going to release all this info. Well, there were some other federal agents that were also working on the case that then contacted Ross pretending to be somebody else and said, hey, I'm dealing with a real pain in the ass right now from this person that's saying that they're going to blackmail me. So there were like 3 separate groups of federal agents talking to Ross. And then one of them was like, I've got people that can make this go away if you want it to go away. And so if you read the chat logs, they kind of convinced Ross to put a hit on this guy, even though he didn't want to.
Oh my God.
So the federal agents convinced Ross to put a hit on a character being played by another federal agent. And it took some pushing because at first Ross, he's just like a computer nerd. So he's like, maybe we can just go pay him a visit and rough him up a little bit. He got talked into putting a hit on the guy. And like the dude walked him through all these steps on how it needs to happen to make it clean. The guy was like, I've got these hitters. They need to show up. $200,000 takes care of them flying into town, hotel rooms, everything's in cash. And then at the end, they'll put a picture next to the dead body with a random sequence of numbers that you give me. And so they'll write that on the piece of paper so that you can tell this is like legit and not just a picture that was taken from the internet.
Isn't this illegal though?
Good question.
Entrapment?
Good question. So to a certain extent, it probably is. And it probably is considered entrapment. But they went through with it anyways. And they staged a murder. They took a picture of the guy that was allegedly murdered with, it was like some spaghetti soup or SpaghettiOs or something like that as the blood. And then they put the picture next to the body, or the writing next to the body to prove that it was them. Sent it to Ross and deleted all the metadata from it so it couldn't be tracked from where it was. And then Ross was like, okay, great job. You did it. And then there were several other instances like that federal agents also pulled on him behind the scenes where they were saying that there's this one dealer that's running away with a bunch of product and he's threatening to like go to law enforcement and all this stuff. And so we need to take care of it right now in the bud. The guy posed as like a Hells Angels motorcycle gang leader from up in British Columbia, but like a very technologically literate Hells Angels member who was like walking Ross through the encrypted payment systems and things like that. And so Ross was a fucking moron and bought into it. And he eventually gave the go ahead for, I think it was 5, it could be 6, but I think it was 5 contract murders on people that were trying to take down the Silk Road behind the scenes.
So he wasn't doing it on
so
the
hold
side.
on. This is illegal. So 18 U.S. Code 610, coercion of political activity. It shall be unlawful for any person to intimidate, threaten, command, or coerce, or attempt to intimidate, threaten, command, or coerce any employee of the federal government as defined in. Oh, so this is just saying you can't do that to a federal employee.
Right. Big T, can you look up the legal definition of entrapment? I'm just curious to know, like, legally speaking, what are the exact words of it?
I think this is still the same type of argument we had about but about the To Catch a Predator type stuff. I think it's the same. Whatever they're doing is legal because that's how they've been doing it.
Okay.
Like
Entrapment is a complete defense to a criminal charge on the theory that government agents may not originate a criminal design, implant in innocent person's mind the disposition to commit a criminal act, and then induce commission of the crime so that the government may prosecute. So I guess the argument would be they did not originate the idea of the crime. There was already a crime being committed.
Okay. So it gets real murky when you've got when the leader of this website is trying to figure out what to do about a problem, and he's talking to somebody and they're going through all the steps and he's trying to figure out what to do, what not to do, and eventually he comes to the conclusion that killing the person is the right move. who knows like where entrapment starts and where the other person's independent thought ends. But it definitely gets super, super murky on it. And so he eventually got charged in the state of Maryland, but in a shocking twist, 2 or 3 of these federal agents that were fucking with him behind the scenes were also siphoning Bitcoin using those accounts. So they would take over the accounts of former drug users or drug dealers on the Silk Road, and they would, in addition to like talking and gathering evidence from Ross and other people on the site, they also would steal that user's Bitcoin and then put it in their own wallets. So there were federal agents that were committing active crimes during the commission of all this. So you can draw your own conclusions. They're probably talking Ross into committing a lot of these things that he probably wouldn't have done on his own.
Also, mere solicitation to commit a crime is not inducement, nor does the government's use of artifice, stratagem, pretense, or deceit establish inducement. Rather, inducement requires a showing of at least persuasion or mild coercion, pleas based on need, sympathy, or friendship, or extraordinary promises that would blind the ordinary person to his legal duties.
So you could probably make the argument that a federal agent telling Ross, you need to take care of these problems because they're going to turn you in and then you're going to prison for a long time. That's persuasion right there, right? You're implicitly implying that if they don't kill these people, that they're going to go to jail for a long time.
Maybe.
He still gave the go ahead on committing all these murders, and also like telling people beat up the suspects and then question them about what they were going to do, find out if anybody else is involved, and report back to me. But he probably wouldn't have gone out on his own to find a hitman on the website. But he had a lot of different people who, many of them turned out to be federal agents, that were convincing him to do these sorts of things. And he gave the go ahead on them. And it was 6 people. So he attempted to have 6 people killed, and he paid a total of $730,000 to commit the murders. So those payments, actually, the transactions occurred, and the federal agents that were behind them, some of them took the money and ran. I think they eventually got caught for it. But there were no murders that were ever actually committed. So it's important to note that no murders were committed, no actual hitmen were involved, but the payments did go through. There were no murder weapons, nothing like that. So he found himself in hot water eventually about that. But as the Silk Road was taking off, he moved down to Australia, presumably to get out of the United States in case there was heat on him. He wanted to be running the website from somewhere else. And then he eventually got persuaded to move back to the United States. And I think he moved to San Francisco. He moved to California. And he was a millionaire, almost a billionaire. I think he had probably like a couple $100 million. And he was like living in a townhouse with 2 other people, like 2 other strangers. And he was paying in cash every month and not really living like a millionaire lifestyle. So you have to wonder I guess he just got off on being the man on this website, or maybe he was really committed to the ideal of having like an open marketplace, but he wasn't living like a baller lifestyle at all.
The Silk Road was doing $300,000 a day, close to $100 million a year, and they're skimming off and taking a cut.
So yeah,
I think he had like 6.5 or something like that, 6.5 for every transaction.
That's a pretty good fee.
Yeah, it's fire.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I guess
it's fair. It's pretty fair.
There's nowhere else to go. I wonder why there weren't competitors that got set up at the time. Like, I guess Silk Road is a pretty good name for it.
There were, but they didn't have like the reputation or the forum and review considerability that the Silk Road did.
He also had book clubs set up. So he using like the forum that he had, they would do like movie nights and book clubs where people would discuss books that they've read and have like philosophical conversations online and shit. So he was like committed to establishing a community. He thought that the community would be the differentiator that would make it so that people would use the Silk Road and not other places. But he moved to Australia, then moved back to the US. He installed on his computer a feature that had one button encryption. So if he felt like there was somebody watching him or he was about to get arrested for anything, he had a hot button that he could press on his laptop that would encrypt everything and shut everything down. So he was taking measures to try to avoid that. Eventually, and I forget, maybe somebody else can explain to me how this happened, but the feds got tipped off and they thought they were trying to find out who the Dread Pirate Roberts was. And through like some backwards internet investigation by like Googling Dread Pirate Roberts and going back and seeing his original name, which was, I believe, Altoid on the Silk Road, on the forums, and searching for other Altoids on other internet forums that were like the crypto communities and some of the mushroom websites, they found out that there was a user named Altoid on a previous website, and then they connected that user with another account on a different website that had a different name, but they were able to like string his internet history back to him, and they found a post looking for technical help building a website, and he included his email address in the post, which was russalbrecht@gmail.com. And so this is like 2 forums prior to the Silk Road they had to trace back, and then they had a name, and then they thought, they weren't sure because it was very much done like just based on what the guy's username was on these forums, but they thought that maybe Altoid was Ross Albrecht, and then they thought that Altoid was also Dread Pirate Roberts. So by the transitive property, they thought Dread Pirate Roberts might be Ross Albrecht. So
from what I read, it was actually just like one detective who everybody told him like, yo, that's a dead end. He was trying to reverse engineer like when people first were asking about it, like very first time people did it, and they mentioned it on that Mish board. He was Altoid, and he was like, he did it on 2 separate boards. Hey, have you guys heard about Silk Road? And he was like obviously trying to drum up interest. But that's just interesting how he got because he was trying to market it like in a very low key way. Like he didn't think about like changing his name and nothing. Like, it was just very sloppy on his part. But there was one guy who was just like hot on his trail, but everybody was like, nah, that's a dead end. It's not gonna work. That one detective is pretty dope.
Yeah, and at the beginning, Ross probably didn't have any idea how big of a deal the Silk Road was going to be eventually.
Yeah,
and so
he was probably just trying to get some shrooms off. Like,
yeah, exactly. and so they found out what they thought might be his name, Ross Albrecht, and they found out where he might be living, which was in San Francisco. They found a package. They traced a package that was going to him, and he was trying to cover up his location, his name, all that stuff. He's trying to be as off the grid as possible. And so he was ordering, I think it was 6 separate fake IDs that were coming to him at once. And they were from various states. There were a couple Canadian IDs in there, all under different names, but all with his picture. They intercepted that package, and the agents came to visit him. And they were like, hey, what's up with this package that we just found in your mail? And instead of being like, oh, I have no idea where that came from, because of all the levels of security that they had set up with the anonymous transactions, they probably couldn't prosecute him for having a piece of mail coming with fake IDs in it. But while he was there and they were asking about it, instead of just keeping his mouth shut, he said, well, I mean, you can go to a website, it's called the Silk Road, and you can order pretty much anything that you want. So I don't know who ordered these. So he just straight up like he volunteered that information to the investigators that showed up to his house. And then they're like, that's interesting that he brought up the Silk Road out of nowhere, probably because he was nervous. And so they had their idea that maybe this is him. And then it gets a little bit more murky because in their investigations on, they're trying to trace like the back end of the website, see if they can find out who's paying for the servers, who's paying for all this stuff. They claim to have found a security loophole in the website. And the security loophole they claim to have found traced the server back to an address in Iceland. A company in Iceland. So according to most people that know what they're talking about with this stuff, this IT, like how to mask back end and how to protect your website, most people say that that's bullshit, that the FBI figured out some way to hack somebody and maybe they hacked Ross individually. They're claiming that there was a security loophole on the website that they were able to exploit that was out there in public. But apparently that's impossible for them to have done. At any rate, they found out that the servers were located in Iceland, and they've never had to prove in court how they figured out where that server was located because they just told the judge straight up, if we were to disclose our information to you about how we obtained this, then that could compromise future investigations. And we, by the way, also use this in counterterrorism investigations. So you'd be harming the United States if you were to make all this stuff public. And the judge agreed with them. But apparently that's all bullshit, and they just straight up, by force, hacked into some information that they were not allowed to obtain, and that's how they got the information to where the server was. They then traced the server in Iceland back to Ross Ulbricht.
Sounds like some Patriot Act stuff.
Could be.
Totally some sort of tool that they use in counterterrorism that they just said, hey, you know, like, you use that all the time to fight Al-Qaeda and stuff. Like, you're just a door over in counterterrorism. We're in drug war. Do you just mind looking up this one ISB? Just
It sounds like a lunch meeting.
Yeah.
It sounds like they went somewhere for lunch and the dude just had like a scrap of paper, handed it across the table, be like, can you get me some information on this person, please?
Yeah. And they're like, but, you know, we'd have to say this was terrorism to do this usually. And they're just like, nah, we'll just figure it out there.
Yeah, so there's a lot of shady shit going on behind the scenes with trying to find out who was behind this website. And the agents that were involved were they were cutting corners, put it that way. So they thought that they had their guy after having these different bits of information, including the package that was being delivered, including the Altoid thing, connecting it to the email address rossulbricht@gmail.com, also including finding out where the server was located and who had paid for the server to be set up in Iceland. And so all signs were pointing to Ross, but that's not enough probably to get a massive conviction, because they were looking to throw the book at him for like, I think the actual legal term is kingpin drug charge. So if you get charged as a kingpin, which who knows what that definition actually means, then they put you in prison for the rest of your life. They're able to like really enforce that shit on you.
Is that related to the RICO charges?
I don't think it's a RICO charge, because in order for it to be a RICO charge, I think that means that they're trying to prosecute multiple people at once.
Same idea,
and
I think.
and charge them all with the same crime. But when it comes to the kingpin charge, I think it's probably built up around RICO. Probably like, it's gang-related stuff for the most part. So they were looking to charge him as like the head of a gang. And they thought that they had these 3 pieces of information that said it was Ross Ulbricht. They thought that they knew where Ross was located, so they started to tail him all the time. And then they tailed him to the San Francisco Public Library because he was going to use their Wi-Fi to do some chat stuff behind the scenes. And one of the people that was trying to get him to chat with him online was a federal agent, asking him like, hey, we keep missing each other online. Can you make sure to be on the internet at like 3 p.m. tomorrow or whenever it was, because I have some important questions to ask you. So they had to nail him in public with a laptop that was logged in to his Dread Pirate Roberts account in order to be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this is him. This is the guy. So the federal agent was like, I need you to look at these back-end trouble tickets that we have related to the transactions. Can you be online at 3 p.m. tomorrow so that you can help me look through all these like customer service issues that I'm dealing with right now? So he goes to the public library and he sits down, opens up his computer, and then like 5 or 6 people come into the room, pose as library goers. So there's a man and a woman that sit down behind him. There's like 2 other federal agents that sit down, or if they're browsing books or open up their laptops or whatever. And then you've got the federal agent that he himself is online, and he's starting to engage in a chat with Ross Ulbricht on the Silk Road website. So we can see, all right, this guy is logged in right now. He's logged into the Dread Pirate Roberts account, and we're chatting. And then behind Ross, this man and woman start to argue, and it looks like they're going to get into a fight. They start screaming at each other. And so Ross turns around to be like, what's going on right there? Another agent swoops in at that point, grabs his laptop so he can't shut it down. And then a different agent bear hugs Ross so that he can't reach out and hit the button or enact any security measures to close the laptop.
Whoa.
And so it was like a big fucking sting they had set up for this guy.
I'm sure there's some boring aspects of like working for the FBI. I'm sure they do a bunch of paperwork and shit. Doing a sting, That got me excited just hearing about it.
You know what's
That's why you joined the FBI.
That'd be so fucking cool to be like sitting in the library, like pretending to look at books. Like, oh, that'd be so sick.
Yeah, I agree, Big T. I think there are a couple reasons to join the FBI. One would be to be in the sting operation where you're like wearing a tight baseball cap, you've got the earpiece in.
Jacket.
Yeah. You've maybe like a trench coat on or something like that, and you're pretending to be a civilian. The second reason is to get a windbreaker.
That's what I was talking about. I guess they wouldn't be wearing those in this scenario.
Yeah.
But yeah, the FBI jacket.
I love the idea that there's a cast of characters probably at the FBI. They're like, we need someone to play random library goer, like old guy using the internet on one of the old computers at the library, and they just have different typecasts.
Yeah.
Like, who are you?
I wonder
at
if
the
they
FBI?
fuck with the local authorities like in the movies. Like, you're out of your jurisdiction here, buddy. You know what I'm saying?
I love that shit. When they get into
Look, I've been working on this case for years.
they get into turf war. Listen, we're the federal agents. You step off my crime scene right now.
Oh, I saw a great dash cam video of a New Jersey state trooper who had just pulled over a bunch of undercover federal agents and him just freaking at them because the federal agents were like, it was a real life scenario that I gotta find that because the state trooper was totally in the right and he was just going off on these guys and he was like, you're totally out of your jurisdiction. You're supposed to phone this, like you're not supposed to be doing this right here. You guys have guns in the back of the car. And he's like going nuts. It's a great video. I gotta find it. I'll send it to you guys.
I wonder if that's something that happens only on TV shows or if it happens frequently in real life, because that's a standard of any cop show on TV. Is you always have the jurisdiction fight where they set up the crime scene.
This one was a real one.
Get into pissing contests. You've got the scene that exists all the time where like the chief of police calls in one of the detectives, draws the blinds, and then just screams at him for like 5 minutes. I love those scenes too. There's a lot of good tropes in cop shows. That's why I love The Wire so much. Is because there really weren't too many of those. The cop scenes in The Wire were basically people getting mad at each other because they had to do work. Be like, my clearance rate is 50% higher than it needs to be. Can't you give my case to somebody else? And then the behind the scenes. Basically, if you're a cop, you're like anybody else. You just don't like to do work. You want to just chill out, get closer to your pension. So the sting was a success. I hope that there was somebody in the van parked outside too. I love the van.
With computers and screens in it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
A nondescript white van.
Yeah.
A couple laptops in there. The real nerds. The dorks are in there. So they arrest Ross, take him to jail. He was held at the Manhattan Correctional Center. You'll remember that from being the same place that Jeffrey Epstein.
He was in San Francisco though, right?
Yeah, but it was a federal crime.
Ah, got it.
So they charged him with all sorts of stuff. So they threw the kingpin charge at him. He had $87 million of Bitcoin that were in his account that they got into. Oh, and also when they apprehended him, one of the agents swooped in with a thumb drive, put it into the computer to download all the information off his computer. I didn't know that those thumb drives actually existed. You always see those in movies where it like copies your computer instantly. Never seen those in real life.
Another sick thing.
Yeah, just plug it in. Boom, I've got your computer now.
You know what else was real? You know those fake ads where it's like the FBI has seized your computer? Well, they did a real one on the Silk Road. I sent it to the group chat. Maybe we can include in the YouTube or something. But it's several examples of like this hidden site has been seized as part of joint law enforcement operation by the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah.
ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, European law. It's like, it's so funny. Like the official ones, like there's real ones. And then I actually found the one that was on one of the older websites they seized because they didn't use Bitcoin, and it looks like it looks fake because the internet specifications were so old back then. They literally have a stock photo of a guy in prison.
Oh, that's crazy.
When they seized it.
So the graphic that they put up on the Silk Road website when they caught Ross was, this hidden site has been seized by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in conjunction with the IRS Criminal Investigation Division, ICE, Homeland Security, and the Drug Enforcement Administration in accordance with a seizure warrant obtained by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York and issued pursuant to 18 U.S.C. 983J by the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. And then they've got a bunch of badges that are on there. So they're literally just putting their nuts out on the website and be like, we got your leader. and he's in prison. I wonder why it's always the Southern District of New York that gets to do all this stuff.
Well, that's Manhattan.
New York City.
Yeah, it's New York City, but how come the Southern District of New York is like the preeminent
For international stuff,
U.S. Attorney's Office? Yeah,
I think it might just be that it has the most resources to deal with these larger things
yeah,
and to try individuals.
yeah. It might. That's probably right. They deal with all the like
Let's look that up.
intricate financial crimes taking place in New York.
Oh, I guess because it's financial,
Yeah,
technically.
and so there's always like the aspect of being charged by the feds that makes me like nervous for the people that have to go through it. And most of the people that are charged by the feds, well, I don't even want to say most, but if you get charged by the feds, you're pretty much fucked. They have like a 95% conviction rate, and in an instance like this, they can ask for no parole whatsoever. So you have to serve your entire sentence. Basically, if the government wants you to be fucked, you're going to get fucked. And when
What were his actual crimes that he got charged with? Because I'm not sure about this whole life shit. I know when they started selling guns on there, yeah, that's when it gets like real dangerous. That's when I'm out. That's when I'm out.
Engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise, narcotics conspiracy, conspiracy to commit money laundering, conspiracy to commit computer hacking, and then I think conspiracy to commit murder, right?
Yep.
That's not listed in that thing, but I think
Yes, he was charged with attempting to have 6 people killed. And the trafficking in narcotics was the big one. That's the one that they got him on the kingpin charges for. So if you're charged with that, they can ask for life in prison without the possibility of parole. The same charge that El Chapo got. So they charged this guy with the same thing as El Chapo. And they did tack on those attempted murder charges. But once they dug into those, they realized, wait a second, we've got a shitload of problems with these charges, including the fact that federal agents were potentially committing entrapment, and also at the same time, they were being corrupt and stealing money. So they eventually dropped all those charges. He was never formally indicted, or maybe not indicted, maybe that's not the word. He was never tried for the attempted murders. Keep that in the back of your head for a second. So he was in Manhattan. They started the trial, and they essentially neutered his defense attorneys. So the strategy that his defense was going to take was, we want to question on cross-examination all these different FBI agents to find out how they got information about the server in Iceland. We want to, on cross-examination, ask them about the employees that were posing as other members of the website. We want to ask the FBI agents on cross-examination about the entrapment and enticement to commit murder. The judge said, no, you're not allowed to cross-examine them on anything except the direct accusations that they've said during their initial examination by the prosecution. So they pretty much didn't let him introduce any other theories. Oh, and then also there was the big one. A lot of his defense was going to be based on the fact that he wasn't the Dread Pirate Roberts. He was one of several people working for the website that had access to that account, but he wasn't the actual kingpin. He was not allowed to ask on cross-examination about other theories that the FBI agents might have had related to the possibility that somebody else was Dread Pirate Roberts. So he wasn't even allowed to introduce that into a court of law. Didn't matter. They got convictions on just about everything that they asked for. And then sentencing came. And the judge had some discretion. There was some talk about, like, when they first arrested him, there might have been a plea arrangement that they had that would have reduced his potential sentencing to like 10 years to 20 years to 40 years that he turned down because he wanted to go to trial. That's some bad advice if he actually did turn down 10 years.
if you could have gotten out of this with 10 years, pal.
Pretty good.
I would say 20 is pretty good. At 40, I'd maybe take my chances and go to trial.
What was he, like 30 when he got arrested? I think it was around
38 now, so yeah, about 30. Yeah, at 40 years, I would take my chances.
Yeah.
Even 20, you take that and run.
Yeah, 20 is a godsend at that point. You get out when you're 50.
Deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's your dream, Big T. You get out,
still got your prime.
your life,
Sign me up.
your life is just starting.
Where do I sign?
Yeah. So he apparently turned down those plea arrangements. There is some dispute of what the arrangement was, but that's also probably just the U.S. attorney saying we never offered him a plea because they ended up getting convictions on everything. So they got convictions, and then the sentencing came along, and with the drug kingpin charges, there's the sentence is up to and including life in prison without the opportunity of parole. So they had victim statements, and I know that we're kind of talking about the investigation, all the loopholes that the FBI crawled through and some of the behind the scenes stuff. There were people that died because of this website, that bought drugs that were either tainted, that were laced. There are people that died because of the website, real actual people, lives that were lost. And the victim statements kind of portrayed that and said, you know, here's the bad stuff that you've done. Here's how it affected my life, the people that you've hurt because of it. So he did end up contributing to some very, very bad things. But the judge also, during the sentencing, the judge took into account the fact that he allegedly committed these murder for hires, but he was never put on trial for those. So he was never convicted of those. And they, in fact, purposely, the government did not charge him with those things because they knew that they would not result in a conviction because of all the bad stuff that the government had done behind the scenes to push him into it. But the judge still took that into account when it came to his sentencing, which I think that's probably the most fucked up part.
Well, he can probably appeal then, can he?
He did. He ended up appealing. I think it went all the way to the Supreme Court, actually. But they did not overturn any of that sentencing.
Damn.
So he was sentenced to 2 concurrent life sentences, which it doesn't really matter. If you get 1 life sentence in the federal penitentiary system, you might as well have like 50 of them. So he got sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, and he was put in prison and then eventually transferred. I think they transferred him to the Alcatraz of the Rockies, which is where they have the Unabomber and El Chapo and Terry Nichols, the other guy that was involved in Oklahoma City. And then they eventually, I think they moved him down to Tucson, but he was put in prison for life without the opportunity of parole. So he's fucked, with the exception of maybe he'll get a presidential pardon at some point. But I do think that it's fucked up that the judge used the information about the killings, the murders for hire, in his sentencing without actually, they never had to prove that in a court of law.
They definitely really made him out to be much more of a controlling, like, head of a criminal organization in the court proceedings than he actually was. I think because it all came out after the fact, but he also did skate away with so much for so long.
Yeah, he skated away, well, for like 2 years, 2.5 years. I am a little bit sympathetic to the fact that he started a website based on an idea and things they spiraled pretty quickly. And he was like a kid that didn't maybe know the impact of everything that he was, not a kid, he was like, 28, 30, whatever. But he was young and things spiraled out of control on him pretty quickly. He did some bad stuff. Now, in court, when they're sentencing him, the judge made a couple good points about the fact that he's no better than like a street corner dealer, than somebody that runs an illegal drug operation where they're selling drugs on the street. He just did it behind a computer screen. And the guidelines that are in place with these dealers, they apply to you too. But just because you're a kid that started up a website doesn't absolve you from the same level of justice that people get if they're running like a traditional, like a gang or the mafia or whatever. So it's not, he can't hide behind that. And that makes a little bit of sense to me, where it's like, yeah, he did a lot of the same things that are done for street dealers. So why wouldn't his sentence be any different?
I think during the court proceedings, they also played a video of a kid who they prove had bought like acid on the Silk Road. Like, and I think they have him on video jumping off a parking garage.
Yeah.
I think that was a big one. Like, they really, to also get his sentencing, like this happened in multiple occasions because of his website and system. I think definitely had an impact on his case.
Yeah. I mean, people definitely died because of him.
Yeah.
For sure.
It does suck that people die. I ain't gonna say that's the truth, but I think it's just hypocritical, man. Like I'm for the deregulation of drugs in general, and I think we should not the deregulation, the
Criminalization.
decriminalization of drugs, and we regulate it, because how on one hand are you is a kid that sold, I don't know, who knows, was a part of a whole bunch of, and as responsible for, a handful of deaths, which sucks, right? But then you have legal alcohol that's literally helps kill thousands, maybe even 100,000 people a year, and nobody is liable because it's on the people in order to mitigate that alcohol usage. Alcohol and tobacco kill way more people than any narcotics under Schedule 1 or Schedule 2 or any scheduled drug on any books. So it's just hypocritical. So like I where he lost me was the guns. We start selling guns and shit like that. That's wild. If you want a gun, do it legally. So where it can be regulated. So I'm all for regulation, but like, I don't know. I just don't think he's the villain that they make him out to be. The whole murder shit, they put him up on that too. So it's like, I don't know. I just don't think he's that big of a villain, man. That's my take.
One argument was that his way of distributing drugs, it was way less violent than other distribution networks because it was all behind a computer. Like when people talked about the study, like harm reduction and all of his drug deals was way less violence. There's an argument that a lot of the people supplying the drugs, the sellers on the website, he actually saved lives because those sellers might use different distribution networks that required a lot more violence to sort of, maintain power and maintain distribution networks on street corners, going to different cities. Like, absolutely.
A lot of gang violence, a lot of violence in general is because they're banging for territory.
So there is 100%. An argument that base level, like net lives saved to deaths caused, he may have saved lives using this network.
I think that there were some studies that came out about that period where it was like 2011 to 2013 that talked about, I don't know if it was overdose deaths or what it was, but somebody made that exact argument that during the period these deaths went down. I don't know if that's true or not, because I think it was definitely, the study was put together by somebody that wanted that to be the outcome. But it in theory, it's definitely possible.
You know what really pisses me off? So my sophomore year of college, I was doing a study on the opioid epidemic, and basically like all the legislation that led to the opioid epidemic to start reducing and the overdose levels going down. Mm-hmm. And now we're at peak levels again after the pandemic. Yeah. It's just, I literally wrote a whole paper and presentation for a class on all the legislation that reduced the opioid crisis, and a lot of it was progressive, like safe injection sites, safe distribution of safe drugs for people who need it in like remission, so they wouldn't go out and get street drugs or an overdose. And like literally all these like laws that were passed helped it doing that. I think all those programs got shut down because of COVID.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how many, like, it's just like crazy. Yeah. How much progress was taken away because of that.
Another big effect of Ross getting arrested, was the price of Bitcoin dropped by like 50% on the day that he got arrested and the website got taken down. So that shows you how much of Bitcoin's traffic was going through the Silk Web at the time. I think it started out the day, I'm looking at the charts, actually on the Wikipedia page. I think it started out that day at about $127 per Bitcoin, which, I mean, that tells you how long ago that was. And then it dropped down to about, it looks like 85 when they seized the website. So it bounced back pretty quickly after that, but there was a temporary, like, huge hit in the market that happened. So he's in prison right now in Tucson. He's got a Twitter account, which I think his mom runs or somebody in his family runs. So when they go to visit him in prison, he'll like give them tweets to send out. And he does that. There was some hope that Trump was going to pardon him on his last day. Trump declined to pardon him. There was a big push by the crypto community to pardon Ross. And so they thought that they could get that on his desk. Trump ended up making the decision to not include him in his last minute pardons. But that's the only chance that he's going to have to get out of prison if a president says like, hey, enough is enough with this guy. I think so. When you think about like incarceration and who needs to be locked up, it's people that are at risk of harming the community around them. there's a punishment aspect, and in this case, I don't know that the world is like benefiting from punishing him so much. I think that he did a lot of bad things, and he knows that he did some bad things, he did a lot of activities that caused bad things to happen if he didn't do them himself personally. But I don't think that there's no chance that this guy gets put out on the streets and then people start dying. Like I don't think the world is gonna be harmed by having Ross Ulbricht on the street. El Chapo probably, yes, I would say, like, yes, probably keep El Chapo locked up.
Well, this guy could probably put El Chapo out of business because all those distribution and drug networks and violence needed to, instill it would probably cease to exist and get automated by this guy.
Well, let's talk about Billy. I like that theory. So if they let him, the government is keeping him in jail because the drug dealers that the government funds would be put out of business if a guy like Ross was out.
That's a conspiracy we got to be pushing.
Yeah.
The
CIA doesn't want Ross Ulbricht out of jail.
Because he'd end the drug war.
He's too powerful.
Yeah, he'd end the drug war, the war on drugs, and the basically policing industrial complex when it comes to the DEA.
Well, I mean, that's what's crazy about it is like he's definitely not the guy that set up the entire website on his own. He didn't have the skill set to do everything behind the scenes. So there could be a bunch of copycats that could exist. But there hasn't really been, to my knowledge, they did do a Silk Road 2.0 that got shut down in 2013, 2014. It didn't even last longer than like a year or two. But I don't think that Ross is like powerful enough to step out and do this all again on his own. And I don't know why he would. So I think I would join the Free Ross Ulbricht movement.
Yeah.
I don't think this guy deserves to be in federal prison for the rest of his life.
True.
I agree. I am in agreement.
Speaking of getting out of jail, breaking news: Chiefs superfan Chiefsaholic might be getting out of prison before the championship game, and it might be because he can cash out his bet early.
Wait, not prison, jail.
No, he's
prison.
Well, he's awaiting trial still.
Yeah,
right?
This guy just got arrested, so he's in jail.
He's in jail.
Yeah.
He will still go to prison.
Yes, but that distinction.
What's his bail?
He's asking for his bail to be dropped to $50K because then he can cash out and pay it.
Feel like that shouldn't be allowed.
I love this because
I'm currently writing a blog.
He's got two futures right now. He's got a future on the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, and I think that how much does he stand to make on that?
He may have had an AFC Championship bet that they made it to it.
Yeah,
that may have paid for this.
And he's also got a Patrick Mahomes MVP future in place. So I don't know if courts allow an argument to be made like, hey, my client needs to be released from prison so that he can hedge on these bets, and he's guaranteed to have enough money to make bail. He just needs to like sprinkle a little bit on the Eagles money line for the Super Bowl. But if they do win the Super Bowl, I know that he would have enough money to make bail.
I've always wondered if you went to a bank, like let's say you had a future that it was set to make $100,000 and you could hedge and guarantee yourself like 35, 40 grand, whatever. If you went to a bank and were like, hey, I need $17,000 right now, I'll give it back to you with 2% interest tomorrow. Like, would they do that?
Well, that's what a bail bondsman does.
I know, but I'm saying if you went to a bank exclusively to be like, here is proof that I will make a minimum of 45 grand tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll bring you this money back with 2% on it. Would they do it?
Right. So hypothetically, if like a podcast co-host of mine had a future on the Eagles that they put in at 22-1 to win the Super Bowl back in August, and that would pay out $200,000, could that co-host go to a bank and say, I would like to request a $50,000 loan to put $50,000 on the Chiefs, and just so you know, even if the Chiefs lose, I've got $200,000. I'll pay you back the day after the Super Bowl. I think that branch of banking should exist.
I bet sports books should start doing it.
Futures loans.
Yeah.
Hedge loans. All right, Penn National Gaming, if you're listening to this, one, I have no idea if this is legal or not. Two, if it is legal, you should probably set up one of these features on the app, but only if it's legal. If it's not legal, it's awful, and I detest the idea that's even a possibility. Does that cover it? 1-800-GAMBLER. Bet responsibly, always.
Always.
Let's pick this back up in 2 weeks.
What happened?
No, just a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Don't want to mess anything up.
Okay. Gotcha. So, yeah, I don't know. All you guys, are we all in favor of Ross getting out of prison?
No, jail.
No.
You think prison?
Jail.
Let him out of jail?
No, I'm not talking about Chiefsaholic.
Yeah, no, this guy, jail.
You think jail for the rest of his life?
Right away.
You just made the distinction between
that's
prison and
interesting.
jail.
Yeah, I'm also quoting a TV show. So
So if he spends the rest of his life in prison, I mean, he was trying to set up this website as a libertarian. He's like a diehard libertarian. And he was trying to keep government out of all these transactions. You think
he's trying to keep the government out of his criminal enterprise.
No.
What's his criminal enterprise based upon?
Drugs.
Why are they illegal drugs?
Is your efficacy purely on the letter of the law and not the spirit of it?
No, not necessarily. You actually got really close earlier, like talking about alcohol and tobacco. You were right there.
Right where?
You were like, well, alcohol and tobacco are way worse than these drugs. Maybe those shouldn't be legal.
Are you what?
So you think more things?
Hold on,
you think
hold
the
on.
government
You're the
should
worst
step
libertarian in the world?
Yeah.
What the fuck? You think alcohol and tobacco should be illegal?
I would listen to that. Yeah.
Yo, this one, you have no consistency in what you think. It's the wildest shit. Like there's no
That's
way
how
to
you know I
categorize
really
you.
think it.
No, you don't.
But no, this guy jail forever.
Do you think that the government should be able to say what things you can and cannot do, and then just blanketly enforce what you can do to your own body?
No, but I don't know if I would listen to alcohol being prohibited.
So you think more things, the government should regulate more things?
Mr.
Some
Small
things.
Government.
You know they tried that.
Mr. Small
Big
Government.
T thinks that the government should regulate more things that he doesn't like.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
You understand that is just historically not worked and created huge illegal enterprises which cause more crime and more stuff that you don't like.
I mean, then why should we make anything illegal?
Well,
It's not, because all things are not equal. Murdering somebody is not smoking.
You know what?
It's a silly ass argument, Mister. I've thought this through.
I want to
Silly.
take. I retract that take.
Nice.
okay.
I'm down with that.
Take-
I'm
I'll
down
take
for
that, yeah.
for take retractions.
yeah.
on the
Alcohol is still bad, but I retract the take.
That it should be
Okay.
illegal.
I didn't say it should be. I said maybe.
You would prefer it if other people didn't drink.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Unless it's at the yard house.
show. Big T. Everyone thinks alcohol should be illegal on Sundays.
So when it comes to the war on drugs, though, that's been proven to not work.
Jesus turned water to wine as well.
Also, the founding fathers were once a criminal enterprise.
Yeah, that's true. Good point, Billy.
Still are.
Hey,
No, they went clean. They got out the game.
They just rewrote the fucking rule book.
But the war on drugs hasn't worked. It's been in place for 40 years now. Nixon started it. It hasn't worked.
That's not the same as like you can just start a website sending drugs to people's houses. Like, come on.
That's not what we're saying.
I agree. I agree that it's a bad idea to have a website with completely unregulated substances being passed and forth anonymously. I think that that's not a good idea for health purposes. But it also takes away some of the violence and some of the gang activity and the cartels. It cuts them off at the knees without having to like send in the military to foreign countries to arrest generals for allowing drug trafficking. And then now we've got a foreign enterprise on our hands that we have to look after and like rebuild other countries because we've kneecapped their governments that were participating in the drug war. Now we've got instability in like El Salvador that we have to deal with the consequences of that, including illegal immigration moving forward for the next like 30, 40 years that we end up footing the bill for.
So then what is your solution?
I think that
All drugs are legal no matter what?
I think that
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready to go that far with it because
I am.
I'll admit 100%. Like I don't necessarily think it's a good idea to have heroin available for anybody to purchase once they turn 21.
I do.
Because it's easier.
I can respect that. Like that's the only, if you say that's really the only logical conclusion the other way.
I think it's so easy to overdose on some drugs that a lot of people would die. Like it's so much easier to overdose on heroin than it is to drink yourself to death.
Do you think?
Agreed.
Do you think they'd probably sell it with the Narcan, like emergency Narcan comes with every heroin you buy?
Yeah,
Probably.
That would be pretty wild.
It's like a travel size. It's like you get the drug and then you get the Narcan.
It's like the
Okay.
That's not the worst idea.
It's like the beer and filet wrapped up.
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
supermarket.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not-
surf and turf.
Yeah.
That's not
All right.
the worst
All right.
idea.
For context, the total number of this is estimation, total number of overdoses from heroin, is about 15,000, around 13 to 15,000 a year. The total deaths from alcohol per year is 140,000. So what y'all are saying is, I don't know if I'd go that far. We already are that far.
No,
We're way past
no,
that.
I'm
We
not saying
are.
that because alcohol
We
is
way
so
past that.
wide.
One of those is acute.
You can-
the other takes 40 years.
Time out.
No,
Do you know how? Hold on. I'm gonna address this point real quick. Do you know how many doctors prescribe heroin to their patients per year? Millions upon millions. It is acute. They give it to you in small doses. Anything can be abused. Water can be abused if you want to. So you saying that we're going too far by doing heroin? We're cool with 150,000 people dying from alcohol.
No, but wait,
not.
wait. There's a difference. There's a difference
I'm
there.
listening.
And I understand your point. We do sell, like, opiates are available widely in America, and people die from them all the time. It's a real issue. But I can't go to the store where I buy a 6-pack of beer and buy like 3 hits of heroin. It's not. You can't compare those numbers to each other because the usage of heroin is limited by the fact that it's illegal right now. If it was made legal, then I would expect that the numbers of overdoses would increase substantially.
Heroin is legal. We just do it in very small dosages. Another one, tobacco, 480,000 deaths per year. So what you're saying is, I'm cool if people slow kill themselves, but I'm not cool if they do it at a fast rate. So why not slow the dosages, set up places to where we understand where people are more likely to use heroin. We could set up places to educate the public on heroin usage and all of these things, because you guys are saying you're okay with one set of deaths, and that's not even close to the amount of deaths that are from heroin, but you're not okay with the other one.
Okay, so
it's strictly on a pill.
I'm with Arian.
So if I'm not saying that heroin is like, it doesn't have its place in the medical community, including people that are addicted to heroin and trying to get them off, like decreasing dosages administered safely. I think that's one of the only ways that you can get off some of these narcotics. But I don't think that it should be as readily available as alcohol, where you can go into a 7-Eleven and buy hits of heroin. Because in that instance, it's so deregulated that a 25-year-old walks in and they shoot themselves up because they can buy it at the store. They're curious, they want to try it, and they die.
Well,
why is it deregulated? Why are we saying? I'm not saying don't sell a 24-pack of heroin. I'm saying you can get small dosages. You can get small this, small that. Like, there's definitely, because I believe in regulation. I don't think it's a wholesale. I'm not a libertarian. I don't believe in full sale free market. I think that you should regulate things and then educate the public on things, because what we do is we vilify drug users all the time, but only certain kind of drug users.
but also PFT, syringes, medical equipment would still be regulated. So they wouldn't be selling vials of injectable substances. It would probably be in pill form. And plus, we already have this kratom stuff, which is all over smoke shops and bodegas.
KB got addicted to it.
Yeah, it's super addictive.
I had like one of those K-shot things.
Yeah.
This was not this summer, but last summer. And I didn't know what to expect. It was just like, hey, somebody told me, like, it's cool, try it. I took half of a shot of it, and I just thought to myself, this is how I felt when I was on pain pills when I got my shoulder surgery. Like, it straight up feels like that. So I don't know if it's addictive. I don't know. KB says that he uses a lot, but or he used to, at least. But I I guess, Arian, what I'm saying is, if you show me what the distribution would look like for regulated heroin, then maybe I could be convinced. But I don't think that it should be just as widely available because it is so much more dangerous to a first-time user.
There's a limit to how much alcohol you can buy. You can't just go buy the whole store.
But it's easier to overdose on heroin than it is on alcohol.
That's why the dosages should be harder to get. There should be a limit on it. I'm for regulation, but nowhere in the history of the world has has wholesale banning something stopped people from using it and abusing it.
Yeah,
it's not a thing. So why not educate people on how to use it responsibly, and you'll get rid of half of the problems in the communities. Half of them. Like I'm not selling shit on the corner that you could buy on the corner. It doesn't make any sense.
That's a good point. Maybe I just need to see what regulated heroin distribution would look like, and I might be able to be talked into it. But I'm just saying
that's just been marketed to. I think it's just been marketed to so much so to where you're okay with over 500,000 deaths by 2 substances, but not even close to that amount of deaths from the other substances. And granted, it is less readily available, but I mean, if heroin is legal tomorrow, are you gonna go try some?
No.
That's the case for the majority of people in America.
But
some people will.
You could also make the case that if murder was legal tomorrow, I wouldn't go out and murder somebody. I commit. I think I heard this from Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller, so I want to give him credit. I currently commit all the murder that I want to commit, and that's zero murders, even though it's illegal. Like if it was legal, I don't think I would go out and be like, sick, the purge is on. I got my 9.
What about Dan Snyder?
Dan Snyder would kill Dan Snyder.
Yeah,
Good
so
point.
see,
Yep.
there's a little murder.
Good point.
Little murder.
Just a little bit of murder as a treat.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Law.
You're gonna fuck around and get questioned if that nigga ever go down.
That's true. If Dan Snyder died, if he got like shot in the street, I think that the FBI would at least pay me a visit, or maybe just like maybe a phone call,
Or listen to part of my take.
Yeah, I just want to say for the record, if Dan Snyder dies, I didn't actually do it.
Just keep
I had a crazy
your phone on you at all times because they can triangulate and ping your position at the time of the murder. Just keep your phone on you.
I had a crazy thought yesterday while we were bowling. While basically Joe Biden was at an event right next to us, and didn't know that was happening while we were filming the bowling thing down in Bowleroo. And I was like, we just walked into this place that has big windows that can see the event space where he's, I'm not gonna say it.
What were you thinking, Billy?
Yeah, don't say that.
Yeah, please don't.
Okay.
I'll soften the blow. There's some dude that came up to me in the airport yesterday. I was like, this fan base is very diverse, man. This nigga had to be 70, pushing 70, late 60s. And he goes, Arian. And I turn, he goes, I'm watching PFT bowl right now. Okay. I had no idea you guys were even doing any bowling thing until that nigga told me. I was like, what are you talking about? That was pretty dope, though.
That's awesome. I always love to hear that when we get caught off guard by people.
What I was going to say, there was no security. Like the Secret Service, Service just let a whole production crew carrying huge, like hardcover suitcases into a place that had easy access, like to the event he was coming in to speak at.
Yeah.
Are you saying you had ample opportunity to take the president out? Is that what you're saying? Billy?
No.
Yes, that's exactly what he said.
I'm just saying, why are they doing such a bad job?
Billy's saying hypothetically, if a gun had been inside one of those cases, Billy would have had access to a gun in a clear line of sight.
No.
That's exactly what you're saying.
So I'm just saying, because we discovered halfway through we were there, like, oh, the president's going to be right there? And it was like, how the hell were we able to do this so easily?
Yeah.
Just a thought.
I love how Billy just like continues to talk when he finds himself in hot water. It's one of his most endearing qualities. If Billy's ever arrested, I'm going down for some. If you let Billy talk for long enough, he will implicate me in a series of crimes. That's for sure.
By the way, I was saying that because like everyone was thinking it.
Yeah, everyone's thinking I could totally kill the president right now.
I mean, we went through so much more security to go on airplanes.
Aaron, if you were there, you would have been thinking it. It was all everyone was talking about. It was on the tip of our tongues. It's illegal to say I want to kill the president.
Well, I don't.
Oh shit.
I don't. Let's put that on.
But it's not illegal to say that it's not illegal. Wait, it's not illegal
is
to say.
illegal.
Wait, no. It's not illegal to say that it's illegal to say that I want to kill the president, which is what I just did the first time.
Is it illegal to think
Oh, shit.
of possible places that could happen?
No.
Oh my god.
I'm just
It's
saying.
not illegal to
talking.
think it, but you're definitely flagged.
Now you're saying it.
Whatever's
Yeah.
going- You're
Okay.
definitely flagged.
Can we just cut all of this?
Nope. Nope. It stays in.
They still have it. It still exists. Even if
They
we
do?
cut it.
Yeah, they're listening right now, man.
Yeah.
Edward Snowden. He's in Russia.
Dude, I
today.
just
All
talk
business Pete
shit.
is gonna turn this into the feds.
I
and
just-
you're done.
I'm more just talking. I talk too much shit on the Secret Service, saying like you're not doing your jobs, and now they're gonna come after me because it's their job to protect the president. So fuck me.
So good job.
You might get a knock at the door for sure. Yeah.
I bet there was like 50 Secret Service agents like hiding in spots you had no idea where they were.
Yeah, probably in the arcade.
Yeah.
They've done a good job of making you think that they're everywhere. I don't know that they actually are.
Yeah.
But I do think like behind if the president's down, like every rooftop, every window, there's binoculars looking at me.
Oh, I
Right.
definitely believe there's snipers.
like they make us
100%.
believe that there's like maybe like 20 or 30, but there's probably like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely a ton. And actually, now that I think about it, there probably was guys in the arcade just whose
Don't
job
walk
was-
it back. Don't walk
I'm walking it back because I don't want them to
Don't
knock
walk
on my
That's
door.
Billy's favorite exercise is walking back.
Damn, man.
Moonwalking.
Billy
Yeah,
does a
that's
hot
facts.
girl walk it back. There's Billy, I've been meaning to tell you, Big Kid actually works for the Secret Service. He was there just for that instance to make sure you didn't try any funny business.
Perfect. I wasn't. By the way, can we like stop?
Pete Weber,
I was just saying
also
it.
Secret Service. Jake,
Everybody's-
Secret Service.
Everybody's Secret Service.
We hired Jake just to be Secret Service around you all the time.
Well, now I'm jealous that I didn't get invited to do Secret Service.
You'd be so bad at keeping a Secret Service.
What do you mean?
You would tell everybody.
About what?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
The service that's supposed to be secret.
You also look like you're a cop already.
I know.
It'd be more
Definitely
stolen
gotta
valor. that we
Actually,
can't
maybe
do it.
what
Yeah,
if
some
I am
buzz
Secret
vibes.
Service and you guys never knew?
Wow.
That'd be wild.
So it
Ah,
wouldn't
damn,
be
I
stolen
just revealed
valor.
another secret.
hmm
Darn.
So, okay. So, Big T, you think Ross Ulbricht in prison for the rest of his life.
Deal.
Mad Dog, you say yes also.
I say yes, but maybe not for the rest of his life. I say he deserves a hefty sentence, though.
Okay. Avery,
Yeah, I agree with Mad Dog.
Arian, I think you're with me. Free Ross.
Free my dog. Free Ross, man.
Billy.
Yeah, I don't know how much time he's done. Maybe give him a couple extra years, but not for life.
There was a documentary that we watched for the show. I forget which one it was. It might have been about the cult, the sex cult, Nexium.
Yeah.
In the documentary, they kept talking about one of the agents that was working on it, and his name was Rick Ross. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
I think it was Nexium.
Yeah, it was. And they kept being like, and then Rick Ross discovered that they were using this P.O. box. And I was like, wait,
Huh.
oh, okay, that other Rick Ross. Got it.
Actually, I take it back. Free Ross and give his sentence to that motherfucker who wrote the furry thing that we just read. That guy should be in jail for life. Or a girl,
Yeah.
whoever.
Pre-crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you anti-furry?
I'm not okay.
Do you think
Yes.
all-
I'm anti whatever that is. Whatever I read.
Persecute the
The
furries?
furry
The
community.
people who write that shit, absolutely.
They
That
came
is
for the
sick.
furries.
Persecute and prosecute.
Yeah.
When they came for the furries, no one.
Oh, wait, hang on a second. I want to read this article here because I did not see, going back to the start. You guys may have already discussed this. The Fox News headline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you already got into that. Ex-NFL star Arian Foster. Oh, sarcastically explains how the NFL is
Yeah,
rigged.
and ironically, Fox is one of the only ones that got that shit. The rest of these motherfuckers think it's real. That's just crazy.
Yep, and that's nice. They said they called
Crazy, the
you.
only people that got the story right.
They called you a star too. That's nice.
I was shining. So says the script.
You did your part.
I did my part, good.
All right, I'm glad they got that part right. That's nice. Shout out Fox
I ain't
News.
mad at it. Yeah, I don't know about all that, but I'm glad they got it right.
And shout out Marlon Humphrey. Me giving up
Yeah.
200 to Chase was just me following the script.
Shout out to all the players that got it. It was like, yo, that shit funny. And it was like, yo, this and this happened. That was the script. That shit, honestly, it was one of the better Twitter days in a long time, man. Like it did numbers, and it was all in good fun. And I'm ashamed that I vote in the same country for all the rest of the motherfuckers that think it's a real thing.
Brendan Schwab included. That was wild.
What did he say?
But you should know, like, that nigga.
And
I mean,
the fact that he couldn't pick up on, I don't know.
He said we were doing it for clicks.
Okay, yeah.
it would be like you clout chasing. Like, nigga, you know how many words I've said on this podcast? Like, I don't give a fuck if it go viral.
In a way, we were doing it for clicks, but it was like to joke. about.
No. You set that whole shit up, brother. You did it for clicks. I was just witty enough to pick up on what you were doing and have fun in the moment. You were like, cut it, clip it. I had no idea.
I did say that, but
shitstorm.
I did say that, but it was also because I thought that we were just doing a bit, and I thought everybody would understand that the point of the bit is how ridiculous it is that people actually think that the NFL is scripted.
Yeah, but here we are.
But we don't get it.
Of course, I took all the bullets. It's all good.
I do owe you bullets. I owe you bullets, and
lots of bullets.
I want you to take me up on that. I'll get bulleted for
absolutely. I will absolutely set you up with a fire squad.
Dirty round mag. You get a drum mag.
We'll figure that shit out, man.
We were talking about this earlier. We don't do it for clicks. We do it to create like art.
That's right. I thought it was funny.
Like it literally spawned some of the best Twitter day in a long time.
Yeah.
And what sucks is we missed it all while we were bowling.
Yeah, we did. Well, no, I'd say today.
Yeah,
was
today
bigger
is when
than
it
it
really
was
popped
yesterday.
off. Yeah,
Really?
today it really popped off. Yeah,
Yeah.
Today was the when everybody caught wind of it, and absolutely, we gave Twitter. Elon was happy today.
He was.
We gave Daddy Elon a show.
Do we have any voicemails?
No, not today.
No voicemails? Okay, we'll have to put out a call for more voicemails soon. I want to talk about one last thing with Elon, and then we can head out. But this is brought to you by Sport Clips. Consider this: not every hairstylist is created equal. Many stylists don't have much experience cutting men's hair, but you don't know it until it's too late. At Sport Clips, all stylists undergo specialized training specifically in how to cut and style men's hair, making them not just stylists, but scissor cutting scholars, virtuosos of volume, and fade fanatics. After all, it's not just any average haircut. This is the big league we're talking about, and these are hair cutting professionals. So don't hand your bushy old noggin over to just anyone with a pair of clippers. Sport Clips takes cutting men's hair to another level, which is why they truly are the pros in men's hair. Elon went private on Twitter as an experiment, as a social experiment today, because Big T, maybe you know more about this than I do, but from what I've understood, there are a lot of right-wing influencers, people on the right on Twitter that are claiming that if you go private, all of a sudden you're getting more engagement on your tweets than you were before when you were being able to get retweeted.
I've heard not a word about this.
Okay,
I
so
saw it.
he's responding. So Elon went private in response to people that were telling him that. I don't know what's going on with the algorithm. What I can tell you is, as somebody that was private on Twitter for like 3 months, Coley used to log online all the time, and his timeline would just be my tweets that were like popping up when he would open up Twitter because I was recommended as private. So I actually think that there is something to this. I think that there's something in the timeline that, like, if you follow somebody and their account's private, you get their tweets recommended to you more often.
I would say, didn't he tweet like he tweeted like something's wrong or something like that? Like, bitch, you own it. Then you go.
Yeah, I don't think that. So there's people saying that it's part of a conspiracy with Twitter because people just like love complaining about Twitter right now to Elon Musk. He said, made my account private until tomorrow morning to test whether you see my private tweets more than my public ones. That was 17 hours ago.
I'm going to be honest. I think what the algorithm was is that most people who are on private are like people you're probably friends with, because most non-public figures are private. So if you're like, if they needed those tweets to even get involved in the algorithm that's based off of popularity, likes, and those tweets sometimes probably don't have any likes or a couple likes, or they're only personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's definitely why they get boosted, because they think it's like you're following your friend. Like I have a old personal Twitter that is private that we were all just our like Twitter sphere was all of our friends who were private, and we were just tweeting into the abyss.
I think there's probably something to that.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's anything nefarious. I think that
I think it was just private people are probably need a little boost because they're just your friends that probably should get up on your feed so you can see what your friends post.
Yep. Oh, I'm also on Elon's timeline right now. It says that British Columbia, Canada just started a 3-year experiment legalizing fentanyl, heroin, and several other drugs.
Love it.
A radical new policy introduced by British Columbia. Adults in possession of 2.5 grams of heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, and methamphetamines or ecstasy will not be arrested or even have their drugs seized. And then Elon says, all things considered, this is the better approach. Elon and Arian building bridges to a better future together.
Man. That's what we do, man.
All right. Anything else you guys want to get into? Did we do teed off already?
Tried.
Did we do beat off?
Yeah, we basically did with the presidential stuff.
Yeah. You're beat off on Joe B.
No, the Secret Service.
You gonna beat off on Joe Biden?
That would be necrophilia.
How's your shoulder doing?
Oh.
That's funny.
That one slid right
I
past
can't kill
me.
the
That's
president. He's already dead.
Good. That's good.
I'm sore in the weirdest places. And one of them being literally my hip, my left hip is weird. Not my left lat, but like my rib muscles here. And this is from bowling for about 6 hours straight.
Yeah.
And my forearm and hands from gripping the heavy ball for so long. That's what hurts.
Yeah. You have bowling.
Like I was trying to squeeze my Gatorade bottle this morning while I was training.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. It was my hands were too sore.
What pound ball do you use?
We were using. It wasn't holding a 16 pound ball for 6 hours straight.
That's too heavy. Why are you using a 16-pound ball, bro?
Well, I was using the 14.
He didn't want to let anybody use a bigger ball than him because then he'd get emasculated.
No, I was using
I use like 12, and like when I'm really towards the end of the night, I'll go down to 10 or 8. What are you doing?
No, you can't be. That doesn't make sense.
What you mean? What did you bowl, first of all, before I had this conversation?
Terribly, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
But don't you?
Absolutely does. I'm a good 150 to 200 every time. I took a bowling class. I took a bowling class in college. I'm fucking nice.
Everyone told me to use the heavier ball because it'll batter down the pins better and not bounce off.
But you still have to. You still have to be accurate.
Well, I was just rolling it down the middle.
Wait, Arian, you took a bowling class in college?
Oh yeah, I did it for an elective just because you have to do electives, and so that was one of the options. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it. But they really teach you about bowling, and so I was going to practice every day, so I got nice. So
shout out University of Tennessee.
Yeah,
Let's do one last thing and then we'll sign off. Going around the room, what was the easiest, most ridiculous class you took in college? Billy, you have to go first. This is a podcast, Billy. People are wondering if their phone died.
I know. Sorry. The thing is, I don't want photos to surface from this class. It was a performing arts class.
You know that by saying it this way, you make it 10 times more likely that photos will surface.
All right, Big T, what was your easiest class?
No, dude, say it.
And anyway, I took a class called The Science of Basketball Shooting. And it was this one dude who couldn't play basketball to save his life, but he had just perfected a standing at the free throw line, form, not even a jump shot, a free throw. And that's all he could do. And he did these ridiculous drills, like rolling the ball on the floor with your middle finger. And my buddy and I, the first day he was like, everybody shoot 20 free throws. And we shot 85%. And so he was like, you two can help me teach the class, basically. So we basically just did all this. It was nonsense. It was.
Did you get better?
85% though? That's a nice
I think I was 17 for 20.
It's pretty good.
And so So there was like really no room for he and I to improve. Like, I guess you could, But so yeah, we just basically shot a bunch of free throws. And then we became de facto like TAs of the class.
That's a great class. I would take that class right now.
Yeah. By the end of the semester, we were just like playing pickup. We kind of disregarded the instructor altogether. But
that's sweet. What about you, Avery?
Story of football. Shout out Rich Hanley, professor over at Quinnipiac University, one of my guys. I played hockey with him like every week. He ice skated, but story of football, great class. Just talked about the history of football, starting from the Yale Bowl all the way up to what it is now. Great guy.
That was a
great
class me and Big Cat guest taught for a day.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. That's a very cool class. You guys loved that teacher.
Yeah.
He was like a rock star on that campus.
He is.
Mad Dog.
I didn't take any of those like sports classes like that. Shit. I don't know if there was like one of those like that I took. Oh fuck. I don't know. Like I didn't take any of those like underwater basket weaving, like anything like that.
I don't think
that would not be easy.
Yeah,
like do you know like that's like a saying.
We took basket.
It is a say.
Basket weaving was an elective during winter study. I took that.
Yeah.
For the art. I went to a liberal arts college. That's one of the craziest places on earth. There's some wild classes.
Can you weave a basket?
Yeah.
No way.
Weave a basket for the podcast and we'll give it away to a listener.
Well, you buy reeds.
Okay.
There's a whole process.
Billy, I'm willing to grant you a $50 reed budget.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Is that enough reeds?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll buy some.
You tell me. Is that enough reeds? How many reeds are we talking about here?
We're gonna need some. I mean, I need to find the reeds first.
Okay.
I don't know where to buy them. They're just there in the studio.
Okay. Source some reeds.
I will.
We'll have you weave a basket and then we'll give it away to a listener.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it. I took a football coaching class one time at JMU. That was awesome.
How'd you guys get in all these football classes?
It was, I don't know. I think I just got up early on the day. That was the one day that I woke up early enough to register for the right classes. There was this one guy he was like a townie that lived in Harrisonburg that just signed up for that class. He wasn't a student at the university. He got into that class for some reason. And I remember like second day, the professor was addressing us. And he was like an assistant coach at a nearby college. And he goes, "You guys know Terry Bradshaw, right?" And then probably like 30 of us in the class. This one dude from town, probably 40 years old, just raises his hand. His hand shoots up. And the professor's like, "Yeah, you in the back?" And he's like, "Terry Bradshaw, quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers." And the professor was like, "Yeah, that's correct." And then he just moved on talking about whatever story he was going to tell about Terry Bradshaw. And there was another one, but my favorite part of that class was he talked to us about the science of the coin flip to start the game. And he said that he conducted a 5-year-long study as to whether or not it was better to decide to kick off or to receive in the first half. In terms of what?
Let me guess.
Wait. Let me just set the entire thing up. He studied it by what your average field position was starting drives.
Okay.
To determine whether it was beneficial to kick or to receive. So throughout the first half, do you think it's better for field position to kick off or receive?
I think it's better to kick off.
I would also say kick off, because if you get a 3 and out on your first possession, the guy's punting from his own 15, punts at 50 yards. You're at your own.
Did you know that you also can defer?
Yep.
Well, that's what you can't technically choose to. Well, you could choose to kick off in the first half, but the second half decision always goes to. This happened a few years ago. The team didn't say we defer. They said we want to kick off. And so technically that was their decision, not deferring. So the other team still got the decision in the second half. So they got to receive twice.
Yeah.
Wait, how? Because if they say kick.
So it's not if you choose to kick the other team, you receive in the second half. That's not how it works. You have to defer your selection to the second half. And then the other team obviously chooses to receive once it's their pick first.
Yeah.
No, that's an option. You can choose to receive or not.
Yes. So
If you choose to receive the kickoff in the first half, that means that you are implying that you will kick off in the second half.
Well, you've made your selection.
Yeah.
So then the selection goes to the other team in the second half. Similarly, if you say
Nah, because if you say we're kicking, that means you get the ball the next half. I think what happened was they deferred.
No, deferring is what you do.
No. So no, you can say we defer, and the other team will go, well, we want to receive.
Correct.
Because if they defer, yeah. So I think what happened was the other team said after they deferred, they said we want to kick. I think that's what happened. Because if the team that gets the coin toss says kick, then you automatically get the ball in the second half.
Okay,
It's implied.
Here are the rules.
Yeah, because in high school,
Option one is you receive the opening kickoff. Option 2 is you can opt to kick off and start the game on defense. Option 3 is you choose to defer. The last option has become more popular in recent years. A deferred coin toss is why you would choose to, let's see, when teams defer the coin toss, they pass the decision on who receives the opening kickoff to the other team. That team will naturally decide to receive the opening kickoffs. And then deferring the coin toss is a way for teams to start the game on defense and work around a rule in football that still allows them to receive the second half kickoff.
Yeah, so that's what had to happen. What had to happen was they deferred, and the other team said we want to kick off, and then they got the ball first and second half.
That could be.
huh?
Yeah, because if you say kick, the other team has to get the ball.
So going back to the field position, do you think it's better to kick off or receive in the first half? This goes back to my professor's 5-year-long comprehensive study on college football that he spent years compiling.
Kickoff.
I think kickoff. I'll say kickoff.
He came to the same conclusion, that it's better to kick off in the first half. Now, then some smartass in the class asked him, but professor, doesn't that all just balance out in the second half because you'd be receiving in the second half and the field position would balance out that advantage that you gained in the first half? And the professor looked at this bright-eyed student and said, I didn't take into account second half field position in my 5-year study.
Oh,
So,
my God.
Yeah, he might have. I might have found a glaring loophole in his.
So he was like, the overwhelming evidence suggests that field position favors you if you kick.
Yeah, he put together a big paper on it.
That's
But
wild.
it was a great class. I had a fun time in there. It was no bowling. And Billy, I will be following up. I know you've got a lot of projects on your plate right now,
That's another one.
but basket weaving is going to be added to the list officially.
I'm deferring all projects, maybe basket weaving, all projects till after March 3rd. Basket weaving not included.
Need
Okay.
a macro basket.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Sorry that I was late showing up, guys, but thanks for sticking around. We will see you all next week. I'm going to be in Arizona next week for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So-
we got to figure that out because it's our 100th episode.
That's okay. We got a big episode planned for Thursday. I'm not going to be a part of it.
Yeah, we have 2 special guests, and Donnie will be coming.
All right.
Yep. Donnie will be here next week. It'll be a good time. He'll be filling in. People love Donnie. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Love you guys.